Welcome everybody to the Perils in Paradise theory casting stream. For the next 8 hours, we're going to be previewing the new cards. We're going to be going around all of your favorite content creators to have a look at what they're playing and acting as a central hub for all these people who are streaming today with the upcoming set. To help me talk you through what is going on is going to be Edelweiss. Edelweiss, how's it going?
It's going great. I've been looking at all these new cards and all the combinations, and honestly, I have a bit of a brain overload from just the possibilities because of the new tourist cards.
Absolutely. Just quickly before we get on, I've got to remember to say drops are active and we are going to be doing giveaways if you are active in chat. So you want to be talking and having fun. We'll leave it to you to work out what active means. But yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing how tourist works. Do you think we're going to see almost all of these people playing tourist decks, or do you think we're going to see people actually playing the new cards in their home class?
It depends a little bit on which classes we're talking about, but I've found that in honestly most of them, it can be worth it to run the tourist, even for just one or two cards from the other class. It's not like you have to be pulling a whole, package from that other class. Sometimes you just need that little bit of extra help that's outside your class identity. And most of the tourists are cards that you don't feel too bad running for that.
And something else I'm going to ask you about is the tourist mechanic itself. Do you think that we're going to see tourists, because they all have in-play abilities. If the tourist dies, the abilities goes away. Do we think we're going to see them played very late, or are they just going to be bashed out on curve because some of them are kind of patchesy?
I mean, yeah, again, that's going to be a case by case basis, right? Like the warrior tourist into druid, that one you can just kind of roll out on curve and it doesn't matter. It just eats something from the opponent's deck. Something like the warlock tourist into death knight card, I believe that's how that one works, which doubles death rattles. That one you might be saving to create some kind of combo potential. Maybe you discount your next death rattle and have some kind of setup to get the most value out of it.
And are there any other cards you think that we might see a lot of today, as we are going to go and drop in with Clark? Again, you can go and see people on their home channels. Clark will be streaming this live.
Well, honestly, I think all of the legendaries have a ton of potential. Something that Sottle mentioned earlier, though, Sandcastle out of Paladin is just an incredibly powerful card. Now, that was in the arena format he was referring to having seen it, but honestly, with the way that card works, I wouldn't be surprised to see it being quite powerful outside of arena as well.
Right, so let's have a look at what Clark has going on here. Again, we're probably going to see people playing the new stuff, which is the tourist mechanic, and concierge in Clark's hand. Cards from another class cost one less. I think we're going to see quite a bit of these played today.
Yeah, that does include cards that you get access to from the tourist mechanic. If you're rogue and stealing a lot of cards from other classes, then it includes cards you obtain that way. Uh, Druid, as we can see here, not sure where that shaman spell came from, but Druid is touristing into the mage class, and it seems as though Clark is setting up for some kind of Aulonius spell damage OTK sort of Druid.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, actually. Clark, a big fan of Druid in general, so no surprise to see him starting here. Resurrect your last demon that died. Unlucky. End game. Get a look at all the signature cards as well there as well. Mr. Vista in Clark's hand is the signature in the middle.
I think I'm seeing where some of his inspiration is coming from. Seabreeze Chalice, the mage drink card, uh, one cost, and so concierge is able to reduce it to 0. But of course, the 3 drinks, you're basically getting 3 cards for 1 in there. If you are able to maybe start with a swipe, with all that spell damage to clear the opponent's board, then you can get those Seabreeze Chalice ticks going face. But it seems like Clark just didn't quite have the card draw resources to protect himself to get to that kind of late game combo he was looking for.
Yeah, there's the Chalice. There's also a couple of other cards. Go with the Flow gives you extra spell damage. Rising Waves is, a better swipe, I want to say. 3 mana deal 2 damage to all minions, and if none die, do it again. So you can't do it to the face, but also it can be a clear. We're going to stay with Clark. I think it's a good idea as well while we get used to a deck.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw some of the Shaman touristing into Demon Hunter there for the kill. I wouldn't be surprised to see if the majority of these decks are including the tourist.
Yeah, I just think we're going to see almost every single deck do it. The packages are attractive in that way. They kind of want you to play the tourist, but we will, as time goes by, I think the meta will develop into some of the cards we just played in their home class, and on you go. But
yeah,
these package holidays, I think we're going to see a lot of tonight.
Now this is looking potentially much better for Clark. No ramp, but the Frost Lotus seedlings are, exactly something you want in your opening hand, since it takes a couple of turns for them to come online. Build up all those cards that Clark's going to need, and then, reduce them with Lifebinder's Gift.
Yeah, and it's going to be so powerful. Not even looking at Mark's deck. Well, we should just try and process this, but Mark's playing some Battle Cry stuff on the other side there.
And Mark is also known, like Clark, for coming up with some of the wackier decks that you might see out there.
Yeah, I have no idea how. I was so busy looking at Clark's hand. I had no idea how Mark finished. I just had a massive board of things when we got there. Oh, I see where we're going with this, and you probably do too.
Yep. Windfury, and then utilizing some of the new Demon Hunter attack buffs, skirting death. Choose a minion this turn, your hero steals 4 attack from it. So as long as, or if Clark plays a minion with 4 attack, you get 4, 3, you get 3, etc. So something that Clark might be able to try and play around by just not playing something with too high attack if he can help it.
Yeah, although there's not no chance he sees it coming, but he's probably busy worrying about his own deck right now with all the new cards. Patches!
But seeing these pirate things, I wouldn't be surprised if there is also the 2-cost Demon Hunter card. It's 2 mana 2/2 that whenever a pirate you control attacks, you give your hero +1 attack. So that could be another way that Mark could boost for that big Windfury turn.
Yeah, that's Adrenaline Fiend. Again, with the Windfury going on, it doesn't look that great until suddenly, hang on, I've got +4 Windfury, that's +8, that's a lot of damage coming in, especially as these patches all have charge that might just be ripped out of the deck. Lots of chip damage going on.
And Clark just going in for the clear here, and maybe, I don't know if it's going to be a mana refresh or a draw. Yeah, draw off the ANR. And that's pretty silly with Dorian in play, of course. You get to get these 1-cost copies of the minions. Luckily draws the Dollhouse to prevent from burning any cards, but an extremely powerful turn. And Mista Vista, in addition to being Mage Tourist, which in and of itself is powerful, replay every spell you've cast between now and then. So there could be some potential for Clark to play that and do some of the mana reduction spells like Lifebinder's Gift to try and set up for that powerful turn, get that repeated later on.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of Dorian today. I hadn't actually really made this connection, but a lot of the tourists are quite expensive with their ability, and you want them to live for a turn. If you've got a 1-mana tourist, suddenly their abilities, which are very powerful if they do live, suddenly you get a 1-mana tourist, you can do all their things on the same turn as you play it. Yeah, big fan of that. We might see Dorian quite a lot.
I think Clark's just got the lethal, right?
I think so, yeah, there's a lot of damage here.
Swipe clears the way, and then this is what I was talking about. Each of these Seabreeze Chalices doing 20 damage. Damage for days. I think even your most armored warrior would really struggle to survive through that.
Yeah, that was an absolute bucket load of damage there. And that was like turn 7 or turn 6 or something, so the early Dorian As on ladder is proving to be pretty powerful here.
I'm glad that the versions that we saw for a while of Dorian getting recruited by Oaken summons, I'm glad that that is not like the way because that kind of consistency is just very frustrating to deal with. But it remains an extremely powerful card, Dorian.
Yeah, we're just going to stay with Clark for one more game, hopefully. Although maybe he's busy celebrating. So yeah, we are going to go and look for another game. Raven is behind the scenes, pulling the strings, looking for the good action for us. So he'll find us something else in a moment. But is that what you expected to see? That's not what I expected to see. I will be honest.
I expect nothing less from Clark. He's always been one for these, big flashy plays and Aulonius Druid, Nature Shaman. Those are really his style of decks. So
We're going to have a look at Ben HS versus Homie. Let's have a look what's happening here. He's on the Death Knight.
Yep, looks to be sort of. I guess we'd say it. I don't know if we would say a hand buff or a death rattle Death Knight. Most of the newer cards have a death rattle focus. Amateur Puppeteer is a death rattle, but it does hand buffing things. I love this new card though, Gorgon Zormu. Or you get a 2-cost cheese that just keeps upgrading in your hand.
Honestly, somebody on the design team has a real issue with cheese. I think it might be Raven actually, but yeah, there's a lot of cheesy cards.
Yeah, lots of unique neutral legendaries in this set.
We also might get to see our first Horizon's Edge of the day, which is the location that does damage. Just does 3 damage, but you can reopen it if a minion dies on your side of the board. Like, that card is going to absolutely destroy some people at some point.
Yeah, there are a few locations like Horizon's Edge, like the mage location, whose name escapes me at the moment, who just reopen so rapidly that you potentially get many activations just in one turn. Death Knight, of course, very good at getting minions to die, and that's the trigger for reopening Horizon's Edge. Mage, very good at casting spells, and that's the trigger for the mage location. So if you get one of those locations, there's this new giant that discounts by 2 every time you've activated a location. And I wonder if anyone has built around that sort of synergy of, rapid fire using a location to put out that giant.
I think if they're going to use it, I think from my sort of preliminary flick through that this would be the deck to do it in. This is the one that opens the most rapidly and you use the most quickly, I think. Plus, you're probably beating people up anyway, so an 8/8 would be nice. I'm sure there'll be others use it as well, but I think this might be the deck, or this is the class we'll see it in first. But who knows? I'm just talking about what people are playing.
A little unclear to me the goal that Homie has in mind here. We see there's Celiax in hand, Shutter Block, Giant Tumbleweed, Novice Zapper, so there's something with spell damage. Gaslight Gatekeeper, okay. I'm going to assume that Incendius is maybe in this deck.
Oh, that's the, is that 3/10? 2/10?
2/10.
Eruptions, I believe, in your opponent's deck.
In your deck, right? It puts them in your deck and upgrades them at the end of the turn. So the turn you play it, they upgrade from 1 damage to 2 damage, and any turn Incendius survives, at the end of your turn again, they'll upgrade. And so there's 5 of them that cast when drawn, deal that much damage to the entire opponent's board and their face. So Gaslight Gatekeeper could be a way of shuffling your hand to find those cast when drawn effects.
Meanwhile, just a massive Yodel there.
Yeah.
The puppeteer just buffing everything so large. Nothing we haven't really seen before here, other than the Brittlebone Buccaneer, which is going to give everything reborn pretty much.
Yep, it'll give the Puppeteers reborn. It would give, if this adaptive amalgam gets redrawn after dying and getting shuffled in, it would give that reborn.
Which is really handy, right? Like, you've got this massive board of big minions, and then if you have a reload turn of play my 2-mana 7/10 and some other things with reborn, how on earth do you then clear that board because of all the reborn stuff? Okay, it'll come back smaller, but it's still going to be a massive board for a third board of the game, if needed.
I'm wondering if there's like some sort of goal with Homie's deck with these 1-cost spells. We have seen them just used to try and survive so far, but Mixologist is a new card that basically lets you craft a Kazakus 1-cost potion, if people remember that. The new Grifta gives you a 1-cost amulet and gives a crappy version to your opponent.
That card's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's strong or not, but it's really, really nice design. I love the card a lot.
There are several effects in this expansion where they really require you to look at the tooltip in the collection for what all the possibilities are, because there's just so much going on.
I don't even know if it was deliberate with Grifter, but living in a tourist town, like, the locals know how to get the good stuff, and the tourists get the rip-off stuff. It just strikes me as something that works really well with the theme, even if it's not quite deliberate, which it probably isn't. It's like...
My hand is full.
Well, I think that Ben is just shy of lethal on board, but should be able to get there with the skeletal sidekicks in hand.
Yep. I make it lethal with the sky sidekicks. 29 on board, plus 4 from sidekicks, plus hero power. There's plenty there.
Yep.
Reach for the skies.
That's a lot of damage. They are some big people.
Uh-huh. Yeah, this has always been the thing with hand buff in Death Knight, is it takes a while to get going because Amateur Puppeteer is a 5-cost card. But once you get it going, particularly with the miniaturize into Yodeler, everything gets so big so quickly.
I'm going to watch Ben play one more. I think I like this. We'll watch people play a couple of games just so we can get used to their deck, and then watch it play when we've actually seen it in action. This deck looks really cheap on mana costs as well.
It does, yeah. Things like that new Dreadhound Handler. Eliza Goreblade, I think, is going to be sort of the new, Keleseth of Death Knight, right?
Yeah.
Where your win rate just skyrockets when you're able to keep Eliza in hand.
Yeah, I've seen some reviews say they don't think this is very good, but it looks absolutely nutty to me. That's all of your minions for the rest of the game. You're playing like crop rotations and similar things, and all your cards cost 1. Yeah, it's going to be large. It buffs your hero power. Like, what's a light? It's a 4/3. That's okay. You don't just throw the game spending 4 mana on it.
Justicar Trueheart which not saying Justicar is a good card, but would upgrade the Death Knight hero power to 2/1s. Eliza is able to do that, and for everything else, the rest of the game.
Slightly sarcastic question in chat, but I'm going to answer it anyway because that's the sort of stream we are. Will we reach Legendary this stream? We will not, but I've spoken to Rekvam about it, and Rekvam's reached Plat before in one of these, apparently, which is pretty good going.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to climb that high just because you're limited on time, and everyone basically has no star bonus, right? So it makes it extremely challenging to do that on these effectively new accounts. Oh, now here's what's always going to be scary, right? Is Eliza triggers on Death Rattle, and you figure, oh, maybe I don't have a way to kill it. Well, now this Yodeler is going to come out and activate that death rattle twice.
Corrupt
So-
Rotation is now just the best card in Hearthstone suddenly.
Yeah, so, and knowing off the Grifta that they have an amulet that takes control of an enemy minion until the end of your turn, I imagine we're going to see the Eliza get traded in, just to make sure we get that effect one more time.
That's disgusting. Worth noting as well, I mean, it's obvious, but again, new cards are never that obvious. It is buffing the cards in hand as well as the ones on board.
Yep.
Should
I
that
mean,
be
it's
effective correctly?
buffing them everywhere. It's buffing
Yeah.
ones that don't exist yet. When this crop rotation is played, they will all have +3 attack.
Yeah, buffs the folder.
I actually think with Amulet of Passions, if Ben were to steal something, it would be set to 1 attack and then have the +3 attack. I'm not positive, but it might work that way.
For the rest of the game, your minions have +1 attack. I feel like what will happen is it will buff it, but then when you steal it, it will shrink.
Yeah, I suppose it depends in what order the things take effect. A bit of an awkward spot, though, for Ben. Has this powerful effect, but no card draw. It seems like the main source of card draw is the Acolyte of Death, which, 3 mana, 2/4, whenever an undead you control dies, draw a card. Good combo with the crop rotation, but none yet. So it might just be this awkward situation of hero power pass for a little while, which could give Homie the opportunity to make a comeback.
Marin, new card with this expansion.
Oh, I think you have to play the amateur puppeteer in some respects. Oh, okay. I guess you just take the clear. It wants to get some value out of the potential death rattle, I suppose.
And this hero power. Take 4.
Yeah, it is. It's just hitting like a truck. So, if you can survive until 10, climactic necrotic explosion deals 6. That is a good combination. Golganeth, mana reduction plus the wand.
Oh.
Seems like Homie's deck struggles for hand space.
That's a good point, yeah. Lots of Death Rattle and Battle Cries get another thing. Okay. Ouch. Yep, it's dead.
Oh, there's the Ghoul's Knight. Last turn, that would have been lethal, because it would be 20 damage. Actually, it may still be with the crop rotation to clear first. Crop rotation and Amulet of Passions.
Okay.
So you can amulet the Golganeth.
Yep.
I think that works. You don't care what Golganeth's attack is, because you can just use the effect. So it is the more beneficial order. It gets reduced to 1, and then Eliza buffs the attack.
Yeah, and also it does clear up, something that we expected but wasn't actually stated. You do get charged from the minion when you steal it.
And it doesn't matter how these go, it's going to be lethal.
Wow. Turn 8 again. That's exciting. That's a lot of damage coming in from those things. If you can clear the board with a crop rotation, then just play those, the random attack just goes face. That seems a great combo.
As Eliza at her best, you're able to get the extra procs from the death rattle, and Ghoul's Knight becomes your big finisher of 20 damage as long as you're able to clear the board to go ahead. So, yeah, pretty interesting idea there with Ben.
Yep. So that's two people we've really looked at now. We've looked at Ben and we've looked at Clark. And we've seen a lot of damage, Clark in particular with that turn 6 kill earlier on. Let's have a look at what Dawn Dragon Rider is up to on her game. Okay, so similar thing that we just saw. Going to be just, let's say it's the same again, but it's not the same again. Already we see far more token generation by the look of it in Dawn's deck.
Yeah, going with that Horizon's Edge location that you mentioned, and Corpsicle, which I think a lot of games are going to be ending off the back of Corpsicle.
Corpsicle deals 3 damage, spend 3 corpses to return to your hand, so it's just more annoying Penflinger. I'm going to watch another game of Dragon Rider to see what's going on here.
Yeah, that one seemed like a pretty resounding victory, but always good to see the full game.
If I got that right, is Corpsicle just big Penflinger? With a different activation, obviously.
Not quite. You can't play multiple times in the same turn, right? So it comes back at the end of the turn for spending the 3 corpses, unlike, say, Frozen Touch, which if it was infused by 3 minions, you would get back the copy right then. So Frozen Touch, you could play for 6 damage in a single turn if you didn't care about infusing it again, or more if you had minions on board to infuse it with further. Corpsicle, you can only get 3 damage out of it in a single turn, but it'll come back at the end of every turn that you have enough corpses.
Okay, that's, lesson learned from Penflinger. I mean, Penflinger was a good card, but it was incredibly annoying. So yeah, let's just do it once a turn. Seems sensible to me. I still want to see the Brittlebone Buccaneer actually do something. It works really well with card draw, of course. It's a 1/4, so it should stick on board quite often going into turn 3. But it does rely on your combos working. Otherwise, it's just a 2-mana 1/4.
Yeah, it'll be pretty interesting for me to see how often it comes down on 2 and how often it's saved for something big. Obviously, if you can give Eliza Reborn, that's great. But sometimes you just are going to need that board presence. Looking at some of the card inclusions in Dragon Rider's deck here, I've got to imagine with Swarm Guard and... well, Deckhand wouldn't benefit from the hand buffing because it's only undead. But I have to imagine that Puppeteer is still in this deck.
You would think so, but we'll see. Oh, just shout out to Fuzzy Cakes in chat. Corpsicle is head crack. Yeah, that works.
There you go. Although,
go on.
Good head crack.
Yeah, definitely.
What? 1 mana less, 1 more damage, and can target whatever you want.
You're awfully good at this.
Yes, that's a lot better.
Now that is interesting. So, Forta King used Always Bigger Jormungandr on this amalgam. Seemingly not that great, right? It's not attacking right now. But it's going to keep that excess damage hits the enemy hero forever. Because it keeps enchantments.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And Hunter has a 3-cost weapon now that recruits a 1-cost minion out of your deck. So it could be that the amalgams are the only 1-cost minion in For the King's deck.
That would not surprise me.
Focused on just buffing those.
So enchant it, get it back, repeat, blah, blah, blah. Does the other one get the enchantment, or is it just this one? Do you end up with 2 amalgams with different stuff going on?
It's only the one that you buff. So yeah, they'll have different things going on depending on what enchantments you put on them. But remember, there's a 4-cost Hunter buff spell that gives, I believe, +3/+3 and a random bonus effect, but also a death rattle of summon a 3/3 with that bonus effect. So that'll mean that every time you're putting that amalgam out, once it's killed, it'll summon a 3/3 with the random bonus effect.
And you can put a yodeler on it, so you shuffle more of them into your deck, so you're more likely to get them back.
Yep. I don't actually know how that would interact, because shuffle might mean you're just shuffling that single
card.
one, right?
Shuffle
Yeah.
this into your deck. Yeah, you just lose your card. Okay, I'm not so good at this.
So that might not be good, but if it's got a different death rattle on top of it, might be worth doing.
Okay, we've had the first draw done for a mega bundle, and the winner is BT9527. Again, you don't have to do anything to enter. You just have to be active in chat. And as long as BT9527 actually just messages Ridiculous Hat, then they will be the winner of the Mega Bundle.
Inclined to take the beetle here because it's a death rattle, so it would get that reborn. Unlike some of the other Death Knight cards, which only affect undead, Brittlebone Buccaneers for any death rattle minion.
Yeah, Sottle is monitoring levels of activity in chat, by the way. If it's too much or not enough, Sottle will personally be Sottle at you. Getting excited by this Horizon's Edge. Anti-Magic Shell is such a weird card. I've tried so hard to make it really... Like, you always want to discover it in these style of decks, but when you run it in your deck, it does often sit in your hand, I found.
Yeah, it's extremely powerful, getting that can't target effect, but at the same time, you want to buff a lot of things, right? And usually what's going to clear a big board full of things is not actually something that targets.
Yeah, there's a lot of sort of AoE that just clears boards 5 and above mana, and like you say, those are the cards that are going to be used, so the Anti-Magic Shell a little bit less useful against those. I know this because I've been playing a lot of Yogg boxes recently, by the way, so it clears every single time. It's great. Could play Horizon's Edge next turn with the Ghouls Knight. That's going to be fun. You do only get to open it one extra time, of course, because you can't like open it in between the minions attacking unless you're really quick on the mouse.
Yeah, unlike card games that let you interact, in between things happening. You gotta wait for all of those ghouls to attack before you can reopen the Horizon's Edge. So, just the one.
This amalgam's big, but it's just not getting it done, is it?
Yeah, I mean, this was what I was talking about, the camouflage mount. There's some RNG on the bonus effect, though. And I can't actually see what we got. Oh, and Rush. But
Okay.
of course, it could already attack, so that's not the most useful effect to gain.
Let none survive.
Kill command still exists.
Yep.
All these years later.
But it is just lethal on board, and of course there's the anti-magic shell in hand as well to finish it up.
There we go. Looks like the meta's solved. It's just Death Knight. Just beat people up. What are we going to do for 7.5 more hours? Tell you what we're going to do. Raven's going to find us another person to watch, and we'll see how it goes. But Death Knight looking strong to you, as strong as you expected. Is that a surprise?
Yeah, not necessarily some of the builds I was anticipating. I did see Baby Bear's Death Knight there in the client. I think this was a very fun thing that they did in addition to having sort of promotional videos of these couples playing each other. But the decks they used are now in the client, so rather than just, here is a deck that someone you don't know made that you can play. You can play decks that were made by these content creators, like Baby Bear, like Language Hacker, Jombre, etc. So, Baby Bear's Death Knight looked pretty good when I took a look at it. So.
Raven's so good at this. Let's go and have a look at Jumbre, one of the players you just mentioned in that group who went to build decks.
Let me think.
Who's on Paladin, which gets to use rogue cards, I believe. I've got this right. I will get
Yes.
it backwards at times.
I think people are going to be very confused at the possibility of a miracle paladin, which no surprise that Jombre has been working on this as well.
Yeah, the rogue location, 3 mana, 4 charges, draw a card. Not that exciting. If you play it this turn, reopen this. Okay, that's a lot more exciting, especially for rogue in general, as well as paladin borrowing it.
I love that animation off of Horizon's Edge, just the cannonballs firing.
Do you think you'll still love it in a month's time?
We'll see.
It is a great animation. I just think we might be getting Horizon's Edge to death quite a lot.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if this person is about to get miracled to death. You see a lot of reduced spells in hand. Oh, okay, I see. We had a reduce your next holy spell by 2 effect going on. But so everything that costs 2 or less is getting copied here. That's why we saw the holy glow sticks go face twice. The coin gets cast twice, as well as this combo card that gives coins. Each of these coins is going to cast twice. So this may well be lethal with the Tide Pool pupils. I think Jombre is trying to guarantee the holy glow sticks. Yep. Which are each going to be another 8. And this is not even needing like the Divine Brew potential shenanigans, which those who don't know, if you Divine Brew your own face, you give it a Divine Shield, and then you can give yourself a bunch of attack after that.
Oh, that makes sense. I hadn't even thought of that, yeah. We are going to stay here again to see how that happens. Because obviously Jumbo wins every game that way and never dies. He's going to make a deck.
Oh, Jombre. Just giving us a little tease of the Miracle Paladin.
I don't think Jumbo should be allowed to build decks until like day 10 of the expansion. He should be banned from the client until like week 2. Reminder again, if you want to watch Jumbo, he will be streaming, as will all of these people on their own streams. So have a look at those people. You don't have to stay here. We're just acting as a hub for you so you can see what's going on. Let's have a look what Kibler is up to.
Just looking for Kibler on the list. Oh, there we go. The Dragon Master. Do you think he's playing dragons?
Yeah, I assume so.
Oh,
Yep.
no! Sandwiches!
God,
Wait.
I'm going to let you explain sandwiches.
That's a fiery war axe. Hang on. Maybe I'm wrong. This is just taunts. So there is a new warrior elemental, monstrosity, like Munster cheese, and that's how we got these cheese elementals in play. It's a large taunt, 9 cost, that summons a cheese elemental with stats equal to its own. But yeah, based on the hiking trail and some of the taunt minions we see in hand, I think this is just some kind of taunt warrior. Not sure.
-7 health. Does that mean your giants cost like -3 or something? You get given mana for playing your giants, but you're dead.
Yeah, in terms of the reason it's called Sandwich Warrior is because of the new warrior legendary weapon Cleaver, which is a 7-cost, 4-attack, 2 durability weapon that says Battle Cry, add a slice of bread to your hand. And it has Death Rattle that does the same thing. And so any minions in between those 2 slices of bread, once you get the second one, get put into a sandwich, which is a 2-cost spell that summons all of the minions that were in the middle. So it's very goofy. The animation is incredible. And it's basically just about cheating out some big minions from your hand.
I just got so much cheese in this deck.
There's a lot of cheese in this expansion.
Fiery War Axe. Look at it, 2 mana.
I'm a little surprised to see Fiery War Axe in here, just because I would expect the goal to be more around like drawing the Cleaver every time, in which case you would potentially run instrument tech to draw it. But Kibler, that's why I wonder if maybe this is less all in on that strategy, and more just about sort of control and taunts.
Yeah, these things are very expensive, and there's 2 ways to get expensive things down in Hearthstone. Either cheat them down with mana cheat, or just live a long time, and he looks like he's trying to live a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Just going through Kibler's hand, this is incredibly slow. But he did manage to outlast the Rogue last game by the look of it, so...
Yep.
Oh, it was a Warlock last game, though, wasn't it? Ramses was playing.
I was. Although, I suppose... Oh, it looked like there were enough Warlock cards, not from this set, that it was definitely Warlock. Rogue has the new Maestra, which can discover a hero from the past. So, if you ever see a hero that's not from Standard, it probably started as a Rogue.
That's a good point. It's a really nice build for most. I think most of the heroes are probably not strong enough to discover, but it's going to be a lot of fun for those who do like that sort of thing.
Well, and notably, once you're no longer a Rogue hero, Tess will replay all the Rogue cards you played that game.
Okay.
Whether that's good, I don't know, but...
I imagine people will enjoy doing that, whether it's good or not. That sounds like it will be fun.
But we missed... Kibler played New Heights here, which is probably the scariest card for me in this expansion.
Oh, interesting. You're going to have to elaborate on that.
Yeah, increase your maximum mana by 3 and gain an empty mana crystal. So it's just Wild Growth, right? From when Wild Growth was 3 mana. But with that increase your maximum mana by 3, no, you don't get it right now, but it means that you play 1 and you can go to 13. You play 2 of them, you can go to 16. And it just keeps going if you're able to discover more of them. So that is in, of course, Druid, but Warrior also has access to it, which makes me scared of the combo potential of Druid and the control potential of Warrior.
Yeah, and again, I was saying that the way to survive long enough to get 8 or 9 mana is to either ramp or live that long. Yeah, now with Warrior, why not both? Just kill things and play big stuff. That makes a lot of sense, right? It's kind of what Druid does at the moment, except it's more focused on the ramp than the killing things. Like you get a little swipe in there sometimes just to clear a board while you're getting ramping up. But Warrior is much better equipped to survive those first 5 turns.
And there is Maestra. Probably will be a little while before we see that hero played, but...
Zuljin.
Is that the replay all the spells you've cast this game?
Yep. cast all spells you play this game. Targets at random. It's before when the targets started getting, do on the opponent if possible. It is just everything gets randomly done.
Only rogues. Just rogue things. And another new legendary, Eudora. Battlecry go on a side quest to discover amazing loot. Play 3 cards from other classes to complete it. That amazing loot are just the treasures that we know from either solo content or some of them were in duels. They were the same treasures used in Kazakhstan years ago. So you get to discover 2 of those, and just like in other circumstances, if you discover both halves of Blade of Quel'Thalas, then you get that.
Sweet. They're incredibly varied, right? There's some sort of 1 mana do 3 type stuff, and there's other things that are, like you say, Kel'Thas and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really large, dangerous pieces of loot. So there's going to be a lot of variance on the loot. Be a while before we work out if that's strong or not. But that's why we're starting to play things.
And it occurs to me that maybe this is the same deck that Ramses was playing before, because that was Announce Darkness, which Rogue has access to as a tourist into Warlock, where you replace your hand with Warlock cards and reduce all their cost by 1, and you also get the Warlock hero power and reduce its cost by 1.
So Kibler got to turn 8 and 9 started to play these big things, but the big things don't seem to be holding the fort as much as you'd expect from an 8 or a 9 drop at the moment.
Yeah, there hasn't been like a big swing. Kibler's just been clearing for the most part. I think, maybe at some point, assuming he doesn't just die to charge damage, we may see something like Food Fight and then use Garrosh Gift for a Brawl, right? That summons an entree for your opponent. When it dies, summon a minion from your deck. So in that, you could like clear the board and pull something large out of your deck.
Yep. Works.
A little surprised that Ramses played the Announce Darkness without getting to play the Zul'jin, though.
Yeah, I think he might have been looking for like Doomguard number 2 or something.
That is a bad beat, discarding the other Doomguard in hand.
And the pause while Ramses explains to his stream how fortunate he is.
Yeah, would have been lethal otherwise.
Yeah, it's still a lot of damage. Not sure how Kibler's going to cope with this.
Yeah, and the Curse of Flesh does mean that no minions can be played without taking damage here, so...
Oh my goodness.
Having to check the secrets.
Warrior with ramp is going to be scary, isn't it?
Yes, I think it will be. Particularly in situations where, you were just going to hero power on 2 maybe anyway, and you can turbo out something that costs 5 on turn 3, potentially. That Trail Mix card is similarly scary to me, like New Heights.
Just a reminder that these players do have to play 10 cards from Perils in Paradise, so they will be a little bit weaker, or stronger in some cases, I guess, but a little bit weaker than your initial standard builds, because those builds will probably just play the absolute prime cards in their decks, at least to start with, again, until people work out exactly how they want to go about building around a meta that develops. But yeah, just Warrior with a couple of Druid cards in looks kind of a powerful starting point.
Probably hoping to find some card draw, though.
It's completely safe. Just don't spill it.
So we're just sludging our opponent to death.
Well, and Rin as well. Just
Yeah.
random nonsense. Yeah, I've got to imagine the Clockwork Assistant comes down.
I'll be a Winterville ham. Annihilation is the only cure.
Look at this selection. It's like one of those sports movies. This is the team that Ramses has been assigned to win games of Hearthstone with. Just look at them.
Yeah, so this is a new Druid card, Hydration Station. Resurrect your 3 highest cost taunt minions. But I think Kibla is just going to want to do that food fight brawl here.
There you go. And what you said, coming to pass now, 11 mana, you can do a lot. It's still 4 left over. Imagine when that gets to 16 or whatever, it's going to be pretty ridiculous.
So the entree does die, summons, oh, a monstrosity, great.
And this game looked over 3 turns ago, but all this
Yep.
taunt nonsense is just hanging in there.
And, you know, this was the problem with Renounce Darkness, which was, you know, something that you would do as Warlock to get rid of all your neutral cards and replace them with cards from another class, not Warlock. This is the inverse of that. It's random stuff, so even if it's discounted, if you've got some bad hits, then you've got bad hits, and no amount of mana discounting is going to help you out. So, yeah, Ramsey is just kind of hoping to hit stuff off the top that's going to lead to a lethal.
Yeah. We're never going to find out. Well, we are probably going to find out because that's why we're here. But, you know.
Just like me.
Kibla has got hand space. Sorry, card issues right now. Still going to be able to generate 1 more taunt with the location, the hiking trail. But currently is stuck on 1 minion a turn. That will change next turn up to 2 minions a turn because he'll have 13 mana.
Yeah. Oh, and here is, you know, the ultimate thing to resurrect from Hydration Station, Beached Whale. If you play it from hand, it's a 410 taunt. If you resurrect it, it's a 420 taunt.
That is a big taunt. That is a high health total. Yeah, Ramsey's doing what he can to just chew through these minions the best he can.
But all these resources spent on clearing, you know, the taunts that summon more minions, and you still have these 6/6s left over to deal with.
You're going to just cycle some stuff with Rin here.
There's what
Oh,
I was probably
no.
looking for. So yeah, once you've
you
got
go.
that 13 mana total, then you could play Sleep Under the Stars to draw 6 if you want. Not even have to worry about refreshing any mana crystals. Yeah, or you could just gain 15, I guess.
Yeah, this card is actually ludicrous. I think it's one of the cards that's going to make me angry. Cards always.
Well,
make me
there's
angry, just to be
the
clear.
Rye-Cleaver.
Oh, the bread is in there. Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's part of why this new hiking trail location is in here, right? Is once you get that first slice of bread, you want to be able to put a bunch of stuff in there. And so if you can discover big taunts, they're going to get summoned.
I gotta move.
I just want to see it happen. And I imagine Kibla does too.
Draw 2, discard 2, burn 2. And yeah, that's just Ramsey's deck right there.
Come on, Kibble, you've got a chance to give the public what they want with a new card. You can do it. So that Doomguard discard cost Ramses the game here. That was like a 1 in 7. Otherwise, he did have lethal, but Kibble was able to just hang in there, and we'll win this.
Yeah. And look at that. Being able to play Unkiliax, still have 4 mana left. You know, nothing to be done with it in particular on this occasion, but imagine having the second New Horizons where you've got 16 mana and you can start. Normally, these decks can only play one thing at a time. Suddenly, you can play, you know, 2 7-drops in one turn.
Cool. Well, that's the first hour of our 8 hours done, so I'm going to leave you on your own for a moment, Edelweiss. So have fun. See you in a bit.
Not even that long, because I'm here already, ready and waiting. Hello. You've been hearing me talk to you throughout the first hour of the show already, anyway. But these games have been crazy, right? We've been seeing some very, very powerful things. I think every time we see a new class get played, it's like, oh, you can do that, and it all looks really strong so far, right?
Yeah, and I think all of the decks have been running the Tourist as we sort of predicted. Just because, yeah, even if there's only a couple of cards that you're looking for, that's just extra power outside of what your class is maybe normally able to do. So
yeah, for sure. And it's like, as sort of knows I like to say, for just one card opening up so many options is going to be pretty good for the deck. Let's see what Bunny Hopper's up to. We'll go and check in with him right now. Just a reminder in chat, if you are watching any of the players in the Theory Crafting streams or anything like that, and you want us to check out anyone specific, just ask, because I'll try and find them and bring them up for you guys. So here we go, jumping into Bunny Hopper. On the bottom here. Looked like playing Druid as well. We just finished a game, so that's not going to take too long, but we'll stay with Bunny Hopper, hopefully requeue straight away. Unfortunately, I'm not good enough to know where everyone's up to in their game at the same time. But has anything jumped out at you so far? Anything you're really looking to test out?
well, I definitely am interested in that deck that John Brew was playing, the Miracle Paladin. Paladin did get a new 4-cost card that Battle Cry, draw your lowest cost card, Death Rattle, draw your highest cost card. So with that, you can build it so you can always draw Linessa pretty much, right? As long as you can trigger that Death Rattle, you've got 2 4-drops that can draw it for you. Of course, you can draw it naturally. And then there's just so many ways that Rogue got to get coins in this expansion that now Paladin has access to. And the fact that you get to just play all of those twice, it's going to be fun being able to do Rogue things in Paladin. Normally Paladin is the opposite of Rogue, right? People don't have as much interest in the class because they feel, oh, it's got this static play style of just play on curve.
Have we really just had like Librams and Penflinger days, right? Have been the most like roguey thing that Paladin's ever really done. But yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, speaking of rogues, looks like Bunny might be on deck roulette, potentially, switching from that Druid over to the Rogue. And it is going to be playing one of the Solari players. I'm not sure exactly who is Solari for. We'll have to find out at some point. Maybe someone in chat can tell me if they see them. Yeah, looking already some Shadow Steps and Spectral Cutlass. Has anything from Rogue interested you from the expansion, from checking out the cards? Because Rogue has never really been a class that I've personally, been sort of drawn to too many times throughout this the game.
I didn't used to be a big fan of Rogue. Like, I enjoyed the rogues that everyone else hated. I liked Odd Rogue. I liked Kelseth Rogue. But I've come to appreciate it more and more. I still don't really have the APM for a lot of the decks that it puts out.
Sure.
But I do like some of the things it has going on. And it got some extremely powerful cards this expansion, not just in its own class, but also in terms of things it pulled from Warlock.
Yeah, I think Warlock's one, and it's been interesting seeing the classes that are kind of sort of paired together, right? Like for me, having like Hunter Warrior was one I was it's weird, right? You'd never really put them as a pair, but I think like Rogue and Warlock seem closer because they both do tricky, cheaty style things a lot of the time, right? So having access to some of those cards will no doubt be huge. I really like this as well. You guys were just talking about the Maestra, Maestra, sorry, is actually super interesting to see some of these old. I saw the old Paladin here, or the old Uther, and I was like, oh, brings back memories, the good old days.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to OTK anyone with Horsemen these days, and certainly
try.
not just randomly pulling it out. But you could do it in Rogue, right? If you just Shadow Step the right tokens,
Yeah.
right, or breakdance them, and just hold them in hand.
It's someone will do it. We know that for sure. Someone will get it done 100%. When he gave us a bit of a preview as well, it looks like he is cycling through some decks. He said next one he's going to play Rainbow DK, and we've seen DK looks disgusting so far, doesn't it?
It looks quite powerful. You know, Corpsicle as this recurring spender can make Climactic Necrotic Explosion just so much more powerful. I think the Rainbow DK has struggled to find good corpse spenders to the point that presently, if you're playing Rainbow DK on ladder, it's excavates and you don't even run CNE, right? The big hallmark card isn't in the deck because there's no good corpse spenders. But I think between Corpsicle and Runes of Darkness and potentially Foam Render, you'll have enough ways of just spending corpses on a good card over and over that you don't need to worry about spending corpses on your other cards.
I got laughed at by a Foam Render on Arena today. It was painful. That card's quite good. And also me being bad at Arena might have something to do with it, but we won't talk too much about that.
Yeah, Bonnie, of course, this full hand, and I mentioned Warlock cards. This is one that the Solary player is running that has me a little spooked. Ouroboros. Of course, as Rogue, being a weapon class, you can just hit minions enough times until you have that active.
But now the tricks appear. Sonya coming out, and then plus shenanigans.
Yeah.
Also leaves the Canary as well, just in the back pocket there for Bunny, just to be able to throw out if there's any true danger. Oh, look at this, though. Oh, no. Oh.
It's too much. There's no hand space. Oh, yeah.
Which amulet
that.
was that? The take control? Yeah, and shadow step it, maybe? Is that going to happen?
Well, or actually, if you have a full board and just take control,
oh,
die,
it's just going to,
right?
yeah. And there's no other.
I don't know.
It gives a minion, right? Yeah, give a minion in your hand. Death Rattle, Summon Ouroboros.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
why I was
know
wondering if the
whose
shadow step was
side
worth.
it dies on, though.
Yeah. Okay, he's gonna just take control.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, sure.
Oh what? Oh yeah. This was a turn 6, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, the
Yeah, and then
breakdance on the.
Who needs Canary, Raven? You can just steal it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize for even suggesting such things when this was the other option.
4-cost cards, because of the mini Sandbox Scoundrel, are just so scary now for being duplicated off of Sonya.
And also as well, this is the stuff that obviously we've got some fantastic players. Bunny Hopper, one of the best players in the world, right? We know this, but these are like initial testings, and people are doing these things. Like fast forward a couple of weeks after the expansion, and these decks are going to get very, very scary indeed. We'll stick with Bunny just to see what this Rainbow DK. He teased the chat, so I don't want to take that away. I know they're looking forward to it. Going up against Big House on Mage as well. Let me see if I can find them to do the old spectate. Wait, where am I going down here? I don't think Big House is on. Oh, I apologize. I have to leave the game and then re-spectate.
Yeah,
just because of the way the spectator works.
A constant issue that I encountered when I was running it last time.
Yep, this is my life when I'm doing these things. It's like
to spectate both players, you need to leave and come back in.
I do apologize, chat. Please forgive me. But I know you guys like seeing the other players' hands, so there we go. We're in DK on the bottom and Mage on the top for Big House. And we've got the card right. Eliza
the
Goldblade.
card,
We saw that
Eliza.
earlier on when you and Lorinda were casting it, and I couldn't believe, for some reason, I didn't appreciate a 2-mana create a 4/1 with charge. I did not appreciate that until today when I saw it.
And Bunny's just going for the all-in, not gonna do mining casualties first, just Brittlebone Buccaneer to be able to get it active on this Dreadhound handler. And yeah, that'll curve nicely into Eliza Goreblade. And these are the starts that are just gonna be incredibly terrifying, I think.
Like, what do you even do about this? Like, look how sticky that board is. Like, what are you supposed to do? Brutal.
But it's generating all these corpses that then, you know, should it come up, can just go into Corpse Skull for 3 damage every single turn.
And I know you've touched on this, but on top of that, Horizon's Edge, such a good tool early on. Like 5 durability on that as well is incredibly powerful, mainly for just all those extra bits of damage that you often need, or just damage to face, honestly.
Yeah, Big House is going to want to transform this Eliza somehow, but I'm not sure if Maid currently has any way of doing that.
Big House might want to hit the concede at some point, honestly. I mean, they won't. They do generally play the games out to their conclusion one way or another in the theory casting, so people can get videos and stuff. But we do see King Tide coming out, though.
Okay, yeah, so that tells us what kind of mage this is, right?
I love
Just
this diamond
focused
as
on
well.
big spells.
It looks so good.
That's always the fun thing with these accounts, right? Is getting to see all of the special diamond and signature arts.
Oh, 100%. Especially because of all again, we sort of say this every expansion, but because I've been obviously spectating during the first hour of the stream, I keep like just highlighting like everyone, viewers, look at this signature art, it's great. And then another signature card will come up and be like, now look at this one, it's also great. Oh, look at the amount of like extra attack added on board now.
One is seriously debating
climactic.
just doing an unbuffed.
I kind of like deal 6. Summon, what's that? 3 2/2s.
Yeah, which will be 3 2s from Eliza.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I mean, I've seen worse turn 5s. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Could also do Horizon's Edge and just get some damage in that way, but yeah, sure. Take advantage of the discount.
Oh, all face. Don't you dare make a trade now. Oh.
You have to.
You never have to.
Well, and I think Bunny knows, like, okay, what are the big spells that could be played? This is one of them, Sunset Volley. And while very powerful, if you've got more stuff in play, it has to be distributed over all of that. Right. So it means he's more likely to keep stuff around.
And that's +2 now, right? So 3, 6.
It is.
Is this lethal, depending on where this goes?
I think so. Right, you've got 10. Oh, no, it's not.
It's one
quite.
off.
Something needs to die for it to refresh.
Oh, yeah, but just the damage to face. If another cannon went face, right, it would have been lethal?
Sure, yeah.
Because one went to the Deathwing, I think. If
right, because this ghoul hero power.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's just a 3-attack ghoul. Go again. Oh, it's so strong. But Bunny made the good play, right? Early on, like you said, on turn 2, getting the Brittlebone down. And that like really helped because it got we saw it earlier on, like multiple procs of the legendary to get the plus attack, but this is another way to do it, right? Is give it reborn and go that way. Gonna go 3 more damage again. Oh. What's that? 9 damage in 1 turn from this location?
Yeah, foregoing a refresh there to make sure that the final 3 would go face. Makes sense because you can always just hero power into something to refresh again the next turn.
This Puzzle Master Khadgar was being hovered there by Big House. I'll be honest, that weapon has never given me a good spell, so I don't blame Big House for not going for it. Gonna go for
Yeah.
Slate instead.
Would have had to be exactly Ice Barrier.
Does Bunny just, like, transition into Marin now?
You could, or you could just start with an Army of the Dead here, right, and say, okay, clear again.
Even
One of them
even
goes
2
in.
mining casualties. That's so much damage if you don't clear.
Is eternal. Relaxation for all.
Yeah, okay. It
gonna
is
go
just
for
going to be
Marin.
mirror.
Yeah, the usual. The other 3 treasures often get upset, always thrown in the deck, where the wand is the first choice.
You know, I think it was a debate because this Marin does mean that there is a good Sleet Skater target,
Yeah.
right, for 8 more armor. But the wand is just so powerful.
Well, I think it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because, like, Marin makes Big House sort of last longer in the game with that extra armor, but Marin is a late game card, right? So, like, it's just Bunny transitioning to that late game plan regardless, or at least slightly later game anyway. Also, yeah, to everyone in chat, drops are live. I know I've seen people throughout the stream so far just asking if drops are on. They are. You'll get some packs if you stick around and watch. Also, as well, there will be the Mega Bundle giveaways going on throughout the show this evening. So make sure to stick around with your chance of winning one. I think one has already been given away. So someone has already won a Mega Bundle ready for the next expansion.
Okay, it's very frozen, this Marin.
Yeah, she's definitely cold. Frost Strike, hell yeah. Okay.
Not quite the hits you want, but I mean, a free Helia is fine.
Yeah, you're never too upset at hell yeah.
And serve your king.
I'm not gonna go for a. Oh wait, yeah, he's gonna clear and proc it twice, potentially to face,
Yeah.
right? Leave one thing up, maybe.
Right,
Yeah, do
because
it like
it-
this.
it-
Yeah,
it-
yeah, there you go.
It counts killing. Oh no, it doesn't count killing opponents' things.
Yeah.
Just your things.
I think it was just
Still.
see if the cannons can go face and leave the other thing up, right? The bigger one, and then trade another girl into it. But again, worst case, say this is worst case scenario, there's an extra 4/2 on the board instead of 3 damage to face. Yeah, fine.
And there's a Corpsicle.
Yeah. You and Lorinda had a long talk about Corpsicle working out what card it's like. I like games like
Yep.
that.
And we have our effects on Caress, Shadow, and Frost. So destroy 2 random enemy minions and then freeze 3 random enemy minions. I imagine that's what it's going to be most of the time for Death Knight.
Oh, this is adventurous, isn't it? Under the sea.
Oh no! Oh, that's wow. Wow.
Oh.
Unlucky. I mean, that's just game. It wasn't going to be doing that much anyway.
No, whoa, whoa, whoa. There's still the weapon.
Well, exactly, right. But my
There's
point
still a
is, we were
chance.
going to be relying on the weapon to survive,
Yeah,
no matter what. Has to play a Blizzard or a Flame Strike. No dice.
So you're saying there's a chance? No, there's not. Okay, nice. Like I said, the Wisdom Ball's never done a good spell in its life. Let's check in as we go back to us for a second. And let's
At least-
check in. Oh, go on, sorry.
It's never done it when everything's on the line, right? If you're
True.
already ahead, it's fine. You just get more damage face, get some secrets, mess up the opponent. But if it's actually life or death, never saves you.
Let's check in with Send Me Your Arms. I think it's just got into a game. It's playing, so we'll check in with them, see what they're up to. I still need to find someone so we can see our side of the Hunter game. And because we saw a little bit of Hunter earlier on, which is kind of interesting, but let's check it out. It's going to be Osu versus Send Me Your Arms. Druid Mirror, by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Spectate Pizza, please. I will try and catch Pizza next, okay? I'll try and catch, what have we got? Raran, Yala, Pizza. Okay. I'll keep them on the list.
And we see both with these dozing dragons, which quite potent. They're dormant for 2 turns, but while they're dormant, they summon a 3/5 dragon with taunt at the end of your turn, and that is quite a powerful effect. On top of, eventually giving you another minion. It's
Yeah,
basically
it's kind
three
of
dragons.
summoned 3/3/5s over 3 turns a lot of the time, right? Which is pretty good. And I think there's been a good job recently of like dormant minions feeling stronger, right? Because I think early on dormant, there were very few like dormant minions that people actually, that people played a lot.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I forgot that Toyrantis was a taunt minion. And so Hydration Station would be able to resurrect it. It always has elusive. It won't get the battle cry. It resurrects just as a 7/7, but still.
I mean, yeah, I'm just looking at this druid hand here from Otsu, and it seems like able to go the distance, let's say, with double hydration station, even sleep under the stars as well. Oh, my game froze for a second. Apologies for that, guys.
Unfortunately, there were no... Oh, no, it just took a minute. Okay, Discover a Beast. I thought we were drawing and there weren't any left, but... yeah, I mean, that 14-14...
It's a lot of stats.
It's a little too much. Able to clear everything else out.
Semi-Rams does have some cheese.
Indeed. It'll have to summon some really nice minions, though. Say 3 Leroys. Who
Doable.
pull out of this. It could happen.
Ooh,
I think-
5 as well.
I think Smarms is on more of an aggressive kind of strategy based on the Trog Gem Tossers here, whereas Otsu is, built for ramp, built for that long game.
Right. Yeah, I feel like once Druid gets to this point, especially with the addition of that hydration, like with the hydration stations available, you've got to put so much work in, or you have to be some kind of OTK deck, right, which doesn't care about the board. So you need to give Jambray a call on that Paladin.
And what are the 5 drops? Oh, good amount of stats, but
Yeah.
bit too late.
Yeah, in many other games that would be pretty good. Not in this one.
I do think that cheese is going to be extremely powerful, particularly in Zarimi Priest.
Oh, sure, yeah, to like use it, build the board, double turn go sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because Gorgon's Ormu is a dragon, so it adds to your total for activating Zarimi, and then you can just kind of sit on that until you get to turn 7, right?
Yeah.
In which case you play the cheese and Zarimi, and suddenly you've got this board of 5 drops.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing is like it does a lot for a one. I know it's not strictly one card with the cheese separately, of course, but it does a lot for like one card, right? In a pretty low cost. Let's go back to us for a second. I will hunt down pizza. Let me have a look. Because again, it reminds us in chat, keep for the rest of the evening, if there's specific players or decks that players are using that you like the look of, we will try and hunt them down so we can show them on stream for you. It looks like Pizza is in a game, so we'll jump over to them and see who they're playing. It looks like it's got... Oh, Pizza versus Donkey, okay. I can get behind this. Gonna be Death Knight for Pizza and Paladin for Donkey on the top.
To see what kind of paladin is. Knowing Donkey, it's got to be a Miracle Paladin, right?
It is definitely, yeah. We can see the usual suspects already, Lanissa and the Tide Pool pupils.
Nightshade
Oh,
Tea, which
is it time?
it looks like it. I mean, there's multiple coins there.
I feel like we might be seeing, this is a bit early to call, of course, but Lanessa feels like the most immediately powerful tourist for like not the tourist effect, if that makes sense, for like the actual card effect.
I mean, you do need the tourist effect, right? Otherwise, Paladin doesn't have all these ways of generating coins.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah. I just
you're
think
right
like
that
without the tourist, like obviously that's how it works, but just like the effect itself seems like super useful. Whereas I feel like some of the tourists that they're fine or they're good, but they're not immediately impactful outside of adding the class cards, of course.
how many
Yeah, wow.
people knew before this that Holy Glow Sticks goes face?
Not as many as the do now. We'll stick with pizza for another game. That was a relatively short one. We'll see. We got burst out then by Paladin. We'll see if the DK can get some work in the next one. Yeah, that seems. I mean, we've seen 2 quick games from like Jambray and Donkey now with that Paladin style. I'll have to respec. Sorry, guys, one sec. But it does seem strong, at least at surface level, doesn't it? It seems like very dangerous. Where is? Oh,
Absolutely.
I just can't see things now.
And it's the kind of thing that a lot of times people get frustrated with quickly too, right? Because the game ends the same way every time. But I'm just so happy to see Paladin be able to do these things.
Well, it'll be one of those things where like I feel like a lot of stuff on the theory crafting days where looks stronger than it normally is because people aren't even prepared for it, right? People are more focused on testing their own ideas versus they're not building for the meta, right? So
Right.
I'm sure if like that Paladin gets super popular, people will tech or the meta will develop around that. So we'll see how it works out. But I'm okay to see very silly decks work today. This is what today's all about, as far as I'm concerned.
Dirty rats galore in the future.
Yeah,
is that what you're
exactly. Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
There's the cheese. It's just good, right?
It is just good, yes. Like, I mean, you can argue that like the 3 mana 3/3 is meh, but the payoff is so good that even if you just threw this out straight away, right? As like an insta follow up, that is a lot of early game tempo, and I think that's why it's strong. Dependent on the matchup, depends on how you use your cheese.
Yeah, as you say, if you have nothing else to do, you could just roll it out right now.
And it would work because it's the right shape to roll.
Yep.
Instrument tech here. And there it is. The Rye Cleaver.
Indeed. Goreblade for pizza, but not running it out immediately. I guess he's hoping to get more than one proc.
Yeah, I think
Right, like-
it's one of those cards where 1 procs is good, right? It's decent. But the second you get to proc it more often, or re-proc it, it's massively powerful. And there is the weapon.
Oh, that's so rude.
Yeah, so you wanted to test this cool new weapon, right? Not today, says Pizza.
Do it in 4 turns. Yeah. Gosh, Courtside Crusher is just going to be the bane of Rye Cleaver's existence, particularly because it's so telegraphed, right? The instrument tech and the food snacks or whatever, the trail mix came down, giving you the 2 mana crystals next turn only. Well, okay, yeah, you've got 7 mana, but not doing any attacking. It's got to be Coin Thunderbringer, I imagine.
Well, the problem with that, I guess it does, right? Because there's no way to deal with a weapon, so there's no point coining the weapon out next turn, is there? Because you can't swing it anyway, so who cares? Oh.
Okay. Well, you don't know what's coming out, so...
You still jam it, right? I think it's still Horseman.
It's a tough call, right? Because there's actually a lot of reasons to want that cool hero power, right? With threads in hand.
Eliza.
Yeah, Eliza makes it deal more damage as well. I actually wonder if maybe over time Headless Horseman might fall out of some Rainbow DKs just because Eliza buffs up the hero power anyway.
Right. Well, then again, I think it's more, it's one of those more matchup-based options, right? I think, because some matchups, the ghoul can be used to either help trade if you can re-proc Eliza, or just push like aggro. Like I said, 4 damage to face every turn is pretty nice. But there might be some matchups where you say, actually, I need to play the long game. if you can't get the reprocs. I think that's what it will revolve around. You know, whether you can get the reprocs on Eliza or not. Billowing Flames, okay.
Now I think you kill that and see what comes out.
Yeah, kill it, because there is the cheese is still sticking around, right? So even the cheese doesn't seem too bad. As we said, depending on what plops out of this. Oh, well.
Yep.
Right.
Those are large. I mean, that's what it's going to be most of the time.
Yeah.
Threads not looking so great without its friend, the poisonous. I never remember what that's called. They nerfed it mysteriously. The 4 mana now 3/5.
Oh,
but,
see, now I forgot because I need to remember. I played so much of that as well. Yeah, I think it is just cheese, isn't it?
Yeah. Wishing well.
Was
Are there any beasts that this egg could pull?
I'm just trying to think, like, there's also the wonder of the order of this situation. I think did Pizza know that Shadow had already been played? So I think he played the threads and then hovered the caress and was like, nothing's changed.
Maybe he was hoping that you could like double up on Shadow.
Yeah. This is tough though. That's just a lot of stats on the board. It's going to be even more this turn when the cheese... see, now who is the cheese master? Because I would argue that Funky Monkeys is looking a little bit better right now.
Yep. Yeah, we've got that first slice of bread.
I can't believe this weapon exists. I like the animation when the sandwich is made. Cracked me up. It's too good. What is the plan here? Because is this another... There's Army of the Dead threads, right? Like
but Army of the Dead, remember now, they're all 3/2s. So it might be better to actually just make the attacks with them. I guess you can make the attacks off 2 of them.
Yeah, I guess you get 2, and also the threads kind of give them more attack anyway in a weird way, right? Because when each one goes, it's like dealing 1. This is probably... I'm telling myself this story. I'm not sure if it's accurate.
I have not done the math, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's maybe better to make attacks with, all but 2 of them.
Yeah.
And then play the threads.
I guess if you were ever playing the threads, the ghouls were dying anyway, right? So the board was going to clear no matter what. But here it is. Look at this art. This is one of my favorites as well. Look at that.
Oh, it's so
If
good,
I pull
that
one
signature.
card, one signature, I want that. It's so good.
Yeah.
And look at this board again.
Who even needs Rycleaver, right? I mean, this is just... I don't think there's even anything left for Thunderbringer to pull because they're in hand.
And this is just, I guess I'll play Headless Horseman.
It did hit the right minion. It was a 1 in 3.
Oh, wait, this is interesting. Hero Power Face. There is Climactic Necrotic Explosion for 11 right now.
Yeah. Well, and because the Maw and Paw stuck around, Pizza has, a decent cushion of health.
Yeah. Trying to see what's available here for Funky, but there's actually no minions, right, in between. Is this just another monstrosity, right?
Yeah.
It feels like just all in at this point and just stack absolutely like as much damage as possible.
Right. Yeah. So that whatever Pizza does, you'll be able to just, kill on the backswing. If you're thinking about particularly Climactic Necrotic Explosion.
Yeah. The drawback is there's no armor up option here. You don't get to play Trail Mix. But if you play any of those, your next best thing is playing Beached Whale, which, okay, yeah, going to value the armor up. Funky's saying there's no good way for them to clear the board, so if I just keep making a big board and do that not dying thing, then it's likely going to be a win.
Yeah. So yeah, the question becomes: do you target face or do you target, the 6/9?
Isn't face? It's dead on board, right? I think. Oh wait, no. So what am I talking about? Lifesteal. I was so focused on the damage numbers there, I just completely forgot about the heal.
The lifesteal.
Yeah, I just completely forgot.
Yep.
What was the draw off the top? Oh, that's also very good as well. The new dragon.
Yeah, I mean that effect we've last seen on what?
Moonfang?
Moonfang, I think. Yeah.
That's the last one I remember playing with that effect. There might have been other cards with it, but I think Moonfang was the last playable one, let's say.
Right, and we've seen it like things that gave that effect to the mage, right? But,
yes. Oh yeah, the armor, right? Is it the armor?
Yeah. Getting it on a rush minion though, much nicer.
Ooh.
I mean, Moonfang
And
was
when you
hard
make
to
it a
clear.
sandwich.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, get some ketchup packs in the middle of that. It'd be great.
Trading off and then
It's so...
playing the sandwich.
Oh.
It's unfortunate pulling Marin out there. As a pirate, it was drawn from the draw 3 minions of different types, but
I think Funky's okay with it. This
Yep.
board looks,
Yep.
I'm going to say decent. Yeah, well played indeed. Wow, that was Pizza looked like they were doing all right, but it's just an overwhelming amount of minions, right? And again, with the warrior from Funky Monkey, with the help of the druid cards, right, is very, very useful indeed. Let me see. So go back to us for just a second. Let me see if I can hunt down Raran. Let's have a quick look.
yeah, I think if that's sort of a matchup that comes to be once the full release happens, then I think it's going to hinge for the Death Knight on being able to keep hitting face with the Quartzite Crusher and being able to go over the top with Corpse Skulls.
100%. We've got in there. This is 2 birds, 1 stone here, because I saw some people request Danehearth as well. And we have Raran versus Danehearth, so here we go. It's going to be Warlock versus Warrior. It looks like it's going to be like big warrior stuff, again, from Danehearth on the top. Whereas Raran is doing silly warlock things by the looks of it, which I'm always a fan of.
Ah, yes. Self-damage warlock things. With a touch of death rattles, it looks like.
Yeah, a lot of power out early, a lot of pressure on, but this testing dummy is no joke. Oh, gonna go shield block instead?
We need...
Oh, wait.
Oh, I think gonna go for the safety expert next turn, right? Because the testing dummy you can just roll out, but needs the armor from shield block to be able to play part scrapper. And I think the plan is to go safety expert, rush it in, and then recommend deck 'em. Or no, it doesn't even have to be damaged, right? So you just make the copy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was too focused on the defensive mindset. Have you thought of anything spicy? I know we saw earlier with the Hunter, the adaptive amalgam, with the putting the bigger Yormonger on it, which I did enjoy. But have you thought of anything? Have you done too much? Any theory crafting on this card itself, the amalgam?
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly Hunter that I think of for it because of that new weapon that can recruit it out. I haven't done too much in terms of looking at other classes that would be able to make use of it, but in terms of just like, it's a dragon, you can run it in Zaremi Priest, right?
Yeah, true, yeah. Having access to just more options is never a bad thing. Here comes the testing dummy, though.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, it just wants to, like, board clear, right? More than anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Or try and help clear the board, anyway.
Do you just like play the food fight just to get it down? No. Okay.
I was even thinking of armor up then, because that Blade Storm didn't feel amazing, I'll say.
Yeah, it does set up, though, killing one half of this other sacrificial imp so that it wouldn't die on Raren's turn.
True.
Is going to be able to kill it with either like the trade-in or chaotic. Probably going to be a chaotic consumption, maybe? Oh, no. Interesting.
I'm gonna just go reset on the health, okay.
Yep.
Bit of a stabilization turn, but again, 2 6/6s on the board versus Danehalth's 13 health. Not the best.
Yeah.
It's a food fight and a dream. I also want the signature food fight as well. I think I'm going to end up
There's
just
so
playing
many
Big
good
Warrior
signatures.
signature
Yep.
because you can play the Druid ones as well. Oh, what was that? Ah, mass production.
Yeah. And Popgar is lethal.
Yes, right? Pop and then sludge.
What? I guess wanting to see what Dane's doing? But, I mean, there's not much to be done.
I'm trying to see if like, because Raran has a Dark Marrow, but is there something that...
Yeah, I don't see any particular, like, combos or anything. There we go. Set Dane really low. Then play Dark Marrow. Somehow kill off your own entree to summon a bunch of minions for it.
Yeah, this is going to be like... There's going to be a video in like 3 days from Raran. I don't know what the title's going to be. That's his speciality here. But I'm sure you'll be thinking of something. Here we go. Yeah, see.
Oh no! Oh no!
I challenged myself to BM during a THEORYCRAFT tournament. Oh, not THEORYCRAFT day there. Maybe it's that.
Well, got the safety expert, but no health to actually play it.
2 taunt minions. Ziliak's not going to be good enough. Yeah.
Well, not even killing one.
What if they're on a call trying to do something? I don't know. Are they trying to like make something happen? I'm interested.
Could be. Wouldn't put it past him. I mean, Raren seems to be drawing towards something in particular, but
Yeah, it's funny though
Don't know
because he
what.
keeps playing mass production, which makes it like, yes, you draw more cards, but you keep putting more in, so it's like,
it's mass productions all the way down.
yeah.
What?
Has he got himself into a pickle here? I'm not sure because. Wait, 6. Okay, lethal now. 6 on sludge.
Okay.
Okay, wait, now he's playing to the audience.
now
He's building up the
something
tension.
definitely fishy,
He's building up the
right?
tension. Yeah, I want to know what's going on. I'm invested now, though. There's a reason he's a big YouTuber. I'm invested. I'm gonna watch till the end.
We could. There was no attack, so Sludge could still do it. Ah, okay. Here's what it is. Party Planner Vona. You get the Death Rattle onto Adaptive Amalgam.
My brain's already melting. Wait, they just burn. Oh, right. So they got. Yeah, if you don't. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
So you get that Ouroboros Death Rattle onto the Amalgam. It shuffles in and keeps enchantments. So you've got like infinite Ouroboros. Or sorry, it's Ouroboros. I'm gonna get this wrong every time. Ouroboros, not Ouroboros.
Oh, and it went on Dark Marrow. Oh, wait, yeah, and wait. Your Death Rattle's triggered twice. After you play a Death Rattle minion, destroy it. That's the plan, right? Dark
I
Marrow
didn't
plus.
want it to go on
yeah,
Dark
yeah, yeah.
Marrow.
Dark Marrow plus Amalgam, right? Okay. Oh, Run, you silly goose.
It wasn't supposed to go on Dark Marrow. How will this work? Will it kill itself?
I don't.
No.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
There's gonna be bombs in there now, because he's taken all this time.
Robin's like, oh no. This is not how I thought this was gonna go. Okay, Inferno to go back up to 15, sure. You want to play this sludge? Well, no. Oh, okay. Bombs, but there's also the Ouroboros.
Right, which resummons.
Let me look at this. Ouroboros. Yeah, there we go. Again? Oh.
Oh boy. What? Oh,
There we go.
oh. Did we just die?
2.
Ah!
Oh no, there's an end turn button. Oh wait, yeah. Oh, I thought the end turn button was thinking. Oh no. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's what you get when you play with fire.
Yep.
It was. I like the idea though, and Raran is an ideas person. Let's jump back to us. I don't know if we can mentally deal with the trolling that Raran is doing. Who else? Who? Oh, okay, chat. Who do you lot want to see? Throw me out some names and I'll see if I can hunt them down. Let's have a look. We're also got to make sure people are actually playing.
That would get to be a pretty ridiculous engine at some point, right? Because each one would shuffle an amalgam with the Death Rattle while also summoning Ouroboros. So if you then have the amalgam in hand again, it gets the
Right.
summoned Ouroboros Death Rattle again.
Right, I'm gonna try and find. You know what? Let's go and see what Rekfam's up to. A lot of the names people are saying are people who either aren't doing the theory crafting, as I am being trolled now. I'm gonna suck on you guys, right? Or people we've already checked in with before. But we've got Rekvam versus Roffle here. Let me just spectate Roffle quick. There we go. Oh, and we see Hunter. Perfect. We also see Thrice, which is the name of that card.
Uh-huh. Choose thrice. Yeah, I mean, draw 2, refresh twice is going to happen a lot, as well as
Yeah.
draw 4, refresh once.
What to do?
Yeah, this also looks similar to what Clark was playing earlier, right? Oh wait,
Yeah.
things have happened here. Oh, the Discover's bugged. Oh, I'm
no
just playing a tune on the
Almonius.
thingy. Okay, let me restart. So I apologize about this. We had a slight Discover bug. Let me fix this. Sorry. I bet the game's going to be over when we get back in.
No, not quite. That was just a turn for survival.
Okay. There we go. Apologies. So we are back in and good to go. What have we got up here, though? Banjasaur. Okay, I'm already a fan of this deck. Ruffle. We've got Ranger Gilly as well. Another signature art. Just give me all the signature arts. I see. Okay.
Ooh, Rampage for 6 1/1s. Oh no.
The pressure. Board control, I like it.
So this seems like tokens for early game, and then it's just also a Rye Cleaver deck for Raffle, right?
Yeah, I would guess so, yeah, just because there's a beach whale in there, right? And the banjo and stuff, so
Yeah.
I would assume that is the case, which seems like a pretty good idea. And that's why when I said earlier, right? Like the hunter-warrior sort of duo is very interesting to me because like, it's not a combination I've really thought about before. But hunter can obviously use some of the warrior tools to go to some sort of late game scenarios, which historically it's not always been very good at.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Seabreeze number 2 though.
Oh, are we finally getting a Mista Vista? This is a card that I feel like can be so powerful, but is just so tricky to use.
Yeah.
But between things like Funnel Cake, Trail Mix, the Frost Lotus Bloom, there's a lot of really powerful effects that you could get going.
It's interesting as well because it's not like it's every mage spell, right? It's not like it's locked. So you've got so many options as to like where it's actually gonna go.
And this is kind of something that I could imagine happening a lot, right? As people just bail. They're like, oh no, I don't have time to play it. I need to be defensive. I need to do stuff. And they never actually get it down.
Right.
And you just then either die or just find the stuff to go off. Because 3 turns is so long. So you have to be willing to say, okay, I'm going to commit now, play my stuff next turn. I honestly was surprised to see the seedling come down when it only had 1 more turn to get upgraded again.
It's like Ruffle's going to go a little bit defensive. And here's the problem, right? Obviously, I don't know what the whole deck looks like from Ruffle, but this idea is good. I just don't know how good, right? Because like, if you don't draw the weapon, can you consistently make good things happen? And that's probably going to be the question this sort of hunter/warrior style is going to have to be answered, right?
Right. Well, Hunter does have that egg, right? The miniaturized egg where you draw one of those big minions, it costs 5 less. So there is that backup. And we do have instrument tech. So if you really want, you can run 2 instrument techs to draw your Rye Cleaver, and that gives you pretty good consistency. The thing is, Hunter doesn't have access to Trail Mix for acceleration, to New Heights for acceleration, or to Hydration Station.
Just got to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where the big brain needs to happen, because you've got the pupil to manage, you've got Mr. Vista potentially, you've got then the chalices to order, and so on, so on. Swipe getting picked up is going to be nice, though. Now, yep. Okay. And that looks like a lot of damage.
Yeah, chalice just adds this element of like, oh, it's fine. I've got enough damage. I have a chalice, right?
Yeah.
That hasn't been played at all yet because, it doesn't do much for clearing without any spell damage. And then once you're going off, you just have all these charges for tons of face damage.
For sure,
I can use to clear face.
I can 100% see in the future of casting of just saying lethal if there's a chalice in the hand. Oh, it's lethal. That's because that's what historically, right? I found points where certain cards, I'm just like, and if they ever look like they're about to get used, I just say lethal, and it's normally right. Actually, it's pretty good measuring stick for that sort of thing. But we are going to stick with Requiem going again. Do I have another on here? Oh, I do. Okay, guys, sorry, give me 1 second. Let me just respec.
Leave and respec.
Yeah. So they're boomerang spectating. Right, we've got Death Knight on top against this druid here from Rekvam. Okay, we've got some pirates here as well.
Haven't seen a pirate demon hunter yet, which I think has some potential.
Frozen in
I think this is what'll be interesting about, say, roughly these archetypes, these two archetypes we've seen a decent chunk of today so far. If they continue to sort of exist in the meta once the expansion's out, is will a deck like Death Knight just be way too fast for this type of druid? Right? Will they just get stomped? Because they do, even though we've seen Druid do well, they've got the ramp, of course, they can put out a lot of burst. They could just get snowballed pretty hard. Even like the looks of this, right? This is still looking pretty good with Horizon's Edge. Even this has been versus a trail mix.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can just go again.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, the first one's help clear, then some go face. And then when that ghoul dies at end of turn, it opens
it's so
again.
good. Yeah, it is so good. I had to read that card a couple of times. Make sure I wasn't dreaming it. And that's just another one as well in hand.
Now, this one, the Frostbitten Freebooter, I'm not entirely sure how good it's gonna be or not, because it can be a little awkward. We see here the prosthetic hand giving it reborn, that's nice, but you know, so it's a death rattle, so it can proc on the opponent's turn, and then it freezes 3 random enemies. That can be disruptive, but what you really want is the damage, right?
Yeah.
So to make this shine, I think you've got to be running Courtside Crusher.
Yeah, I think it'll also be very meta dependent as well, because freezing up to 3 is very strong on death, right? Like that is a really strong ability. But against like a druid, well, for quite a while they're not going to be playing many minions, at least in this style, right? So it definitely looks weaker. But against some of the more aggressive, or maybe, you know, in the mirror match, for example, it could be very impactful having the freeze effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
I mean,
Horizon's Edge again.
If you say have Frostbitten Freebooter out, you go face with a Courtside Crusher, so you've frozen their face, and then you play that dual Hunter Death Knight card, the Yodeler.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's 10 damage.
Yeah. Oh, this is a lot of spell damage available. We are going to thrice it up.
What do you think? Draw 2, gain 10?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, refresh. Oh, I guess is this refresh swipe here? Coin,
could be, yeah.
swipe. Oh, this is actually, you know what? I didn't even really think about the whole reborn side of this card, right? If you give it reborn, it will then deal damage to things it's frozen.
Yep.
Very useful in a turn like this if a double swipe's potentially coming down. Requiem, though. Hang on a minute.
There's
Lethal?
no way this is lethal,
I'm
right?
not going to say it. The cards are being
There's
used.
no
Lethal.
way.
Lethal. I'm just saying it. I don't care if it's wrong. Lethal. There's double swipe still available and Sea Breeze. And this all... Wait, Mr. Vista was played, right? Oh my...
The problem is that the second freebooter is going to die and probably kill some of the spell damage.
Ooh! Actually, weirdly, one going face was okay. Oh, they went Chalice?
Well, right, because the second swipe guaranteed kills it. This one might miss. Yeah, I don't know if that was worth it.
I think Requiem might have ended up a little bit rushed at the end. Which is understandable, because Requiem, a fantastic Hearthstone player, but when you're making split-second decisions with new cards that you've got to sort of read a couple of times, it definitely gets a lot harder, because with decks like this, players very quickly develop, you know, effectively muscle memory, or, you know, decision-making memory, I guess, for these sort of decks, and can just naturally make decisions instantly. Not really going to be the case on a Theory Crafting Day.
This has to be a
Lethal!
draw 2, gain 10. The locations aren't even open.
Lethal!
Are we just gaining 15 and praying? Yeah,
yeah.
15. Okay. So there are 2 drinks left on the chalice, so each of those can do 4 if the swipe clears the way. Oh, and this is just like what I was talking about with the
Yeah,
yodeler.
yeah. Oof.
Yep. Seaside Giant.
Yeah, I
'cause
forgot about Seaside, honestly. I thought it was even
Horizon's
around.
Edge gets used so quickly.
Okay, but is this lethal?
Well, it actually might be.
Oh, yeah, right, because there's double swipe now, because the generated swipe.
Yeah, and just enough health, right, at 6, so when the Bone Shredder dies, it'll be at 1. Oh my god.
Oh, wait! No! It was one off!
No! Wait,
I thought it was lethal.
If gift had reduced, would it have been?
I'm not sure. I kind of sat back and just assumed it was lethal, and it wasn't.
Oh no.
Wait, that was though, so that's fine. We got lethal in the end. That's all that matters. We'll watch
Alright.
one more Rekvam, I think, before we wrap the top of the hour up. If that's cool for you, of course. I love it.
Well, Sottle has said hopping in after this game, so I don't know if he's
it's
playing.
Sottle already in. Oh, okay. Well, hang on a minute. Let me check.
Fare thee well.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Are you here, Sottle?
Lethal!
I mean, it was. A lethal happened.
It was, yeah.
Right, how's it going, mate? You've been having
going
fun.
good.
I've seen you've been making friends in chat.
Yeah, always. Always. As you well know, Raven, I'm just a very likable person. So,
Yeah, really,
you know.
social butterfly, bit of a mixer.
Yeah. Very personable, good in a crowd.
Really
you know.
approachable, from what I've been told.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, well, you talk about Druid and the games we've seen so far, while I do production things to fix the overlay.
Okie dokie. What are we doing? Are we sticking with...
Yeah, Rekvam
Rekvam or
and sorry, I can't even speak. Brigitus? Is that him?
Got it.
Brigitus? I'm just gonna have to re-spectate so we can see the both players' hands. I know chat loves seeing the other hand. Yeah, this
Oh, yeah,
Druid seems pretty fun.
It does, yeah. Rekvam streamed yesterday, I think it was, and was doing a card review, and then sort of like doing the card review, and when they saw a card that gave them an idea, they just sort of built a deck in an online deck builder and then saved it for this purpose. So,
Right.
you know, Rekvam's try-harding. He's making the real sweaty decks for theory casting. That's what you want to see.
Oh, and it's gonna be Druid again. And what have you thought of this so far? Just everything in general, because you've sort of been sat watch the first couple of hours. Power level seems high. I know it's difficult to say in theory crafting, but we've seen some players do some strong stuff so far. So
Yeah, it seems high-ish. I think what's really interesting about this is generally in these theory crafting events, you'll see some kind of slow win condition look incredibly good, right? Like we saw, like Azurite Snake, for example, looked like it was unbeatable when it came out in theory crafting. I know that card got nerfed, but it got nerfed on vibes, not because of win rate. Like the card never actually had a good win rate. Whereas this, the stuff that's looking strong so far is actually the really fast stuff, which is not generally what you see in the theory crafting event because the natural effect of the format being slowed down a bit by the deck building rules and stuff. So it looks like we might have a pretty aggressive format from what we've been
it's what I was
looking at
mentioning
so
earlier,
far.
where like this Druid looks really cool. Probably look, super fun to play, especially because we know players like to play a lot of cards and do bursty combo things. But we've seen Death Knight just crush, especially with the plus attack bonus, right? And it's like, oh. Will they just
that
die?
location is just so much damage.
5 durability, so.
Yeah.
Although there is a card that just kills locations. Is it? It costs 3, right? I think it's a 3 drop tradable.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, if you just go, mining casualties on 2 into whatever on 3, the turn you play your location, it's going to do like 15, 20 damage, right? The very first turn that you play it.
Just don't play any minions, so they can't.
Yeah. Just don't play minions, and then you live easy.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Okay, Rekvam's definitely on the defensive here, though. Trying to just survive. Although there's again, like, look, what do you think of Mr. Vista as well? This card seems like it's going to bamboozle people.
Mr. Vista.
Yeah,
Never knew how much I missed you.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to explain it, and you weren't going to make
No.
some kind of pun. Never mind.
No. You're not up on your mid-90s Nickelodeon. Is that Nickelodeon? Chat, is that?
I don't know.
Someone who gets that reference, tell me if that's actually Nickelodeon. I may have embarrassed myself.
Stop and smell the flowers.
There is a potential lethal in hand though. for Requiem. I see swipes. I see some mage spells. That's all I need to know. The best part is when I was saying like, oh yes, in the past when I've been casting, I just see certain cards in hand and just say lethal. It does work though. You know it. You've been there. It works often.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. If you say it in the right tone of voice, you can actually pull out the option select where you're like, no, I was just trolling. Like I didn't actually think it was lethal. You know, I was just doing a bit.
No one would believe me if I did that. They'd just call me an idiot. Speaking of which, I don't know how we've not got a warrior card maybe that's just called idiot, because then you can make a sandwich.
You can make an idiot sandwich.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like that is a missed opportunity at some point, maybe in the mini set.
Honestly, it's like the cards and art and flavor text and stat lines even are so far down the meme rabbit hole now that we might not actually be that far away. Bunch of freaking Zoomers designing our game, honestly.
Yeah, we should design it because we get a card called Sword Man, Beast Man, Crab Man.
Hey, placeholder is actually genius.
That is honestly, that's my only request ever. They need to make my placeholder card.
Do you want to pitch it to chat? Or
I don't know
I
if
would
chat
do
would
it, but you know,
appreciate it.
it's such a good idea that I don't want to steal your thunder. You know.
Okay, so it's a card called Placeholder. It would have some kind of effect of when you play another card, it swaps into that, or basically, so on. But it would be a guy holding the fish at place.
It's brilliant.
There you go. Give me an out of 10 score, chat. It'd be good though, wouldn't it?
This
It'd be
is
like
about
a
300, isn't it? I've just noticed
The
while we're
damage?
talking about placeholders. Yeah,
lethal. It's so good. Like,
3 out of 10,
why
not
does
like this out of 10? 5. You got an 11 from Sea Viking Joe. That's the name that knows it. It's in a place or two in their life.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. It should summon a location too. Yeah, we can iterate. We can sort of do a bit of a think tank for the ability, but the overall thing is pretty good.
Wait. That's last drink. How many drinks we got left? Is this last drink as well?
Yeah, that's
Last drink? It actually wasn't lethal. You're all banned, chat.
I think Requiem might have just misplayed.
We never said it. Neither of us said lethal. That's all on you, chat. So many people just got DQ'd from winning a bundle by saying lethal in chat when it wasn't lethal.
I do like the way as well, Sottle is sort of self-appointed, like, master of chat. Like, and giveaways. And making up rules.
Yeah, the reality is I have zero control over who gets any bundles.
Yeah.
But it's just fun to lie to Twitch chat, you know? Like...
Well, it's definitely not lethal now. Or is it? Look, there's draw cards, a spell damage, and a swipe. It is just spells, right? Let's check. Yeah, every spell you've cast between now and then. Yeah. What does tourist mean? What tourist means, as an example for this one, this is a druid legendary, and it has mage tourist, which means this druid deck, you're allowed to put the mage cards from this new expansion into this druid deck if you have this card in it. And each class has a tourist card. Only one though, so like each class can put one other specific class's cards in, and that's it. You don't get like druid can't put hunter cards in their deck, for example. They only have the one.
Yeah, think of it with like dual class, but with like heavy restrictions. So you sort of retain, so you know, you can actually design around it to an extent because you're limiting the pool of.
And
of
you can
dual
tell
class cards.
in the designs of this set, right, that they're at least elements of the character cards are meant to work together.
Ooh,
Thrice.
it's Declan Thrice off the top.
Oh, go with the flow.
Oh,
Oh, it's probably pupil.
typos while holding though, right? Yeah, it's not just have cast 3 spells.
Yeah. But you can thrice. That's one. Well, that is just a casual 14.
Rekvam is kind of alive though, which is very interesting, considering he just threw his entire hand at being like 1 damage off lethal or whatever it was. Thank you, Lorinda. Yeah, I thought of it all by myself.
So, are you? I didn't notice. Oh wait, you've not been on camera yet. That's why. But are you wearing the shirt?
No.
Sol?
I'm wearing the shirt.
Extremely comfortable, isn't it?
It is very comfy, yeah.
It'll be a regular occurrence whether I'm on stream or not.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice material.
I've got that.
Hashtag ad, I guess.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know the rules
sure.
of what gets you arrested in this country anymore. But,
What shirt? You'll find out. I'll just randomly throw us up on camera out of nowhere.
yeah. We'll just vogue for them real quick.
It's like a lot of damage, but it's a lot of armor from Rekvam. Not too bad. I do like this as well, the dozing dragon. I don't know if you've looked too much into this card, but super high
I
value.
did. I've been playing a few arena runs with the new cards, which if you didn't know, chat, you can if you want to play with the new cards and you're not cool enough to be invited to one of these theory crafting events, you can just log into arena and the new cards are available in arena right now. So I did. I had the Dozing Dragon and Hydration Station combo in Druid in one of the decks that I played, which was pretty powerful, as well as there's the 10 mana thing, or is it, no, it's 6? I think it's a 6 mana, 6/7 rush, but it costs 1 if you have 10 mana, and it also has.
Oh,
taunt.
yeah. Oh, look at this
Yeah.
value. Mr. Vista, let's go. Oh, that's a good point. Did it make the same choices?
No.
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 Yeah, so it does just randomly pick the thrice, right? Oh my god.
Some things are happening.
Oh, Mr.
Animations are
Vista.
occurring. And Rekvam is dying.
Yeah. Right. What was cast? Oh, Trail Mix. Yeah, that not the best
Lethal.
game there for Rekvam. But now, Sol, you can have the opportunity to show off the shirt if you want to do some modelling. As we will go to cams while we just find, or I find it, someone else to spectate. There we go. I think Sol's here. Yeah, there you go. See?
Look at it. It's beautiful. It is kind of giant on me. I got a medium and then forgot that it was going to be an American medium, so it is kind of swimming on me. But, you know, it's a beach
comfy.
shirt. It's supposed to
comfy.
be big and airy. Yeah, exactly. Can we do? You know what my request normally is? I like to look for the high rankers early, and I noticed that Chris 05 was like 4 whole ranks clear of anyone else. If we
Sure,
can,
let me
have a look at what's going on there.
It's K, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Let's go in then. Let's see who they are playing against as well in the game. They are in a game as well, and see more importantly what they're. Oh, Sol. It's
Yeah.
Druid, but it's against Priest, so it's allowed.
Ooh.
I feel like people would like to maybe see not Druid, but we're doing our best, guys, I promise. Also, just a reminder in chat as well, if you have been watching some of these players' streams and they're currently playing a deck that you want us to check out, let me know in chat, or at me, or at Lorinda maybe, and you can tell me. And we will try and get to as many people, as many decks as we possibly can.
No bucket hats. It's a good point. My hat
No
is
hats?
upstairs.
Oh, I can sort you out. I've got the hat right here, and it is
You've got the
also
hat?
very
Okay.
comfortable.
Raven will provide all necessary ridiculous hats for this stream.
There's only the one.
Ooh, creation, protocol, and insidious. All right,
Wow,
I
that
like
is
it.
a lot of stuff. And some cheese.
The glee with which you say that. Okay.
Those shirts don't have flamingos on them. 0 out of 10. Wow.
That's a great point. That is
Yeah,
a great point.
It is official Hearthstone shirts, though. We're not.
However, it's not Friday, is it, Cora? Come on.
Ooh, that is also a good
You've
point.
played Flamingo Friday before. You should know better than this. Come on.
Yeah, let me just check. Is it Friday in America? No. Nope, still Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah, no, it's not Friday in New York, but it is Friday on the West Coast. That's how it works.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is a lot of stuff. But can the priest hold this off?
You just need to draw literally all of the eruptions immediately, which you
Alright.
can't do because your hand is
Which might be a bit of a
next
problem.
plan. Oh, okay. Puppet Theatre on Kiliax is certainly a start. Is there card draw, though? Not really. There is Goblet, if you want to really
Oh,
live
yeah.
the dream.
Oh, yeah.
Oh! Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. No, okay.
So get another one.
Only
though.
actually got one
Yeah.
duplicated in hand as well because of the hand space. Yeah, so needed to draw more of them off the top, sadly.
Yeah, and I think that is lethal. Oh, it's not. Wait, I forgot about the taunt. It's not lethal on board. Trying to see if
Puppet
there's...
the ENR draw, says someone in chat. Yeah, I thought about that, but then you still have to like make hand space or they'd all burn anyway, which I guess you could do a little bit. You'd be able to play like 1 or 2 more cards. It would have been fun.
Shall we hop to Christian after this game so we can check out some priest?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Not something I've often said in my life. But we've not really seen much on stream yet. So it looks like this one might be over soonish.
Oh! No.
It's actually kind of sick doing it, like, duplicating them, isn't it? I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, certainly because one of them seems to have stuck for several turns, which is for a couple of turns at least, which is a big, big deal. But interesting that they're desync though, which does make sense. Yeah, because the second one would have shuffled them in afterwards, right? So the first one stuck, so that's why some of them in the deck are dealing 4, but then some of them in the deck are only dealing 2, because those are the ones that got shuffled in by the second one.
Yeah.
Soso is the best modder in chat, very handsome and pretty. Brackets. Oh, you left the. They left the bloody parentheses text in, Raven. Honestly.
Yeah. Probably doesn't help that you told them that it was a lie as well. That might not be the best thing to do at the start of the day.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You get so much viewer churn, Raven, that you just get
True.
a whole new bunch of viewers that you can con by the end. It's great. Don't worry about it.
Well, that's a lot of stuff. Maybe too much stuff, some would say.
Yep.
Goblet. It's just armor.
It's so weird, right? We've seen this with, what was it, like branching paths in the past. Like, 7 mana gain 15 is a terrible card. But when that is just one of the options that you can have with
Right.
the card, suddenly it becomes incredible.
The flexibility is what makes the card strong, as well as it
Yeah.
using the word thrice.
Of course, yeah.
Inherently
Not
gives
once,
it a bit of a
not
buff.
twice, but thrice.
Okay, let's jump out of this one. Let's jump back in with Chris, you know, and see what they're going to play. Maybe they run into Chris again. But I do think we can check out some Priest as we go back to us for a second. Yeah. Recent. That's going to be useful. Wait, currently spectating? Maybe we're not. Should we jump over to see what Fino's up to?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Check in with...
if this is
the
Druid.
Fino.
Chat's going to be very angry.
Of course, Fino's someone else who knows all about smart, hot, and successful viewers, so...
It's Shaman.
Should
Perfect.
be right at home with our chat.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see. Okay, we don't get to see the opponent's hand, but that's fine. Let's check out Fino.
Astral Pay. Oh, that reminds me. I want a Ben Hearthstone update. Hang on, I just want to look at Ben's rank. Oh, has Ben disappeared? Ben log off?
I don't know.
Ben was actually farming earlier. Like, Ben was one of the
Yeah,
highest
it's high,
ranked
right?
players.
Yeah. We do see Patches, though, on the board in his little plane.
Okay, Tide Pool's real value-hungry card. Does get you a lot of things to do, but it does cost a lot of mana to get all the value out of it. If you compare it to the cannon's location, right, where that just kind of does all of the damage for you automatically. You don't really have to spend any mana on doing it, so it's just incredible tempo and damage immediately.
The beatdown. 2 frogs and some pirates.
Yep, the old turn 1 patches. Which, if you weren't aware, the flavor text on this card does literally say, finally a patches you want to draw on turn 1. Which I do think is how the card was designed. I think they were all sat around a table once where, wouldn't it be funny if we designed a patches that you did want to play on turn 1, and then they just worked backwards from there and did it? Like, 100% confident that's what happened.
Yeah. The text on the initial design was turn 1 if played, win the game. And they had to tone it down from there.
Yeah. And I thought, ooh, tone it down just a little bit, actually.
It's a good starting point, though. Good starting point.
Yeah. Yes, and. I don't think they are bots. It's just there are assorted Blizzard people who log into generic accounts just to fill out the population a bit.
I also think there's some for media as well. I think there are some accounts that media uses it, which there's no specific person. It's given to like media coverage companies and such, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, they're not literally like NPCs.
Yeah, there you go. Seemingly confirmed by Cora. Even if she won't also confirm my patches theory, which is 100% true.
And also insulted the shirts.
Jeez.
I'm wearing the hat though, so maybe that'll recover.
Okay, good. Speaking of spending mana, by the way, Cabaret Headliner. Oh boy, that lets you spend a lot of mana.
Yeah.
We got a few different spell schools going on, and that is a lot of mana cheat in one card.
And just a lot of pressure. And like, funnily enough, I was going to ask you a little bit earlier about like, what do you think of like what this deck's trying to achieve? Is the answer just stuff? Is that where we're going here with this Shaman? By the looks of things from Fino, it's just go.
It's a Fino deck, isn't it? Right? Yeah. It's just efficient cards that spend mana, just playing extremely aggressively for tempo and just being ahead on board. Like this is what Fino likes to do, and that's what he's continued to do, rocking up into theory crafting. Unlucky, just set a pirate on fire.
Lucky. Well, say lucky. It was guaranteed. Lethal.
Oh my god, my opponent got exactly the card they needed from gift. They're so lucky.
I mean, they got the gift, right? Lucky.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, any gift. If you get any gift, you're lucky, right? Like, just like I have the gift of Twitch chat's presence right now. I'm incredibly lucky.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of lucky viewers winning those bundles that have been given away. The mega bundles. As well as the drops, of course, that are on throughout the entirety of the stream, which is there's plenty of time left. There's no rush anyone. We are here for quite a while yet. We're only nearly 2.5 hours in.
Yep. Yeah, still plenty of mega bundles to give away. Still plenty of Hearthstone to go through. We'll be about halfway through. There'll kind of be a rotation of the players that we're looking. We're kind of dealing with the EU time shift right now, and then we'll move over to more of the Americas players later on as they get online.
How to win a bundle? Just be active in chat. Exist.
You have to increase your activity levels. I didn't know there were giveaways. There sure are giveaways, yeah. In fact, there might even be a giveaway happening pretty darn soon. I was going to say, maybe before the end of this game, but at the speed these games have been going,
Yeah.
I'm actually not going to put that on the line.
And this matchup as well. Oh, wait, it's Druid from Pheno. I wasn't even looking at Pheno. I was just looking at actuality on the Warlock.
Just need to be very clear. Q player said so spam. No, what we actually have in place is a very complex algorithm that rates the usefulness, the intelligence, the insightfulness of the messages that you write. And the better they are, then the more chance you have of winning one of the bundles.
Also,
that is
flattery
a complete lie, by the way. Yeah, flattering the casters and staff and the players involved, that all helps as well.
One of the key metrics, essentially. Here, though, this is going to be what I'm talking about a little bit earlier, where this Warlock looks to be quite aggressive, and then we're going to see this slower Druid if it can actually hold on, because this is an opening as old as time itself, Sol. Double Flame Imp.
It sure is. Several people have talked about this in card reviews, and it is just kind of immediately apparent in looking at the cards. But what is the name of the 2-mana buff? It's like +3/+3, adds 3 damage to your hero at end of turn to a minion.
I can't remember, but we saw it earlier in a game. I just can't. I think it was the one where Raram was trolling. We saw it.
Someone in chat will let me know. I think if you play Flame Imp into that, your opponent just kind of explodes, right? Most of the time, that seems difficult to beat. Casters seem to make more understandable mistakes these games. I'm assuming that's someone's attempt at flattery, which I'm fully on board with.
That's the kind of flattery I'm used to, honestly.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and then also this Fearless Flame Juggler. Again, it's one of those cards that's kind of hard to evaluate because I think just playing it with a Flame Imp isn't going to be good enough. It doesn't work with Blood Treant for the same reason as various other cards. Paying health is not the same thing as taking damage, so Blood Treant wouldn't buff Fearless Flame Juggler, or of course that would be absurd.
Quite strong.
Yeah, so it's a real matter of whether that actually ends up being good enough or not in this position. There it is, Cursed Souvenir. That's the name on the card we were looking for.
And there we go, just like that. GG. So anyone who's a little bit worried about how strong Druid has looked today, just play that. Let's jump away from Pheno for a second. Try and find people that aren't Druid. Someone requested Yarla earlier, and as Yarla fans ourselves, so why not? Let's jump in.
Yarla is at Bronze 5 already, which means he must have won every single game he's played, because he will have only completed about 6 games by this point.
But they were 6 good games.
Oh, yeah.
We've probably casted the most Yarla out of anyone on this earth.
Oh, comfortably. Yeah. It is not close. Because like that's not even just GM. Like that's HGG as well. You know? Like we have been there. We've been on the journey.
Yes, we have.
Yarla is going through a journey of drawing some plagues right now, which is not looking ideal.
Did you catch? Was it Bunny Hopper's Rogue game earlier with all the reductions? Did you see that?
I must have done. Yeah, but what? I'm blanking.
It was the big pop-off turn when he kept. He went Sonya and then played the the 1/1 that reduces. Like that looked spicy. Okay, we'll stick with Yarla, even though this game is over. Death Knight, definitely, at least at a glance, looking to be pretty strong this expansion from what we've seen so far.
Yes, yeah, some sort of aggressive token-based Death Knight with the attack buff does certainly seem like it's going to be a day one queue for a lot of people just trying to win a lot of games early. Let's put it that way.
Yala versus Jambray.
Oh, hello. Generally, that doesn't necessarily mean that it will be the best deck when things pan out, but it's just an easy thing to, you look at the big effect of the legendary, right? Oh, buff the damage of my minions. Okay, well, I'll just put all the token and reborn effects in my deck. It's very easy to build, and it does seem very, very effective based on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, and just the fact that there's also like the natural support in there as well. A lot of the generate tokens cards, right? That Death Knight already has access to.
Yeah. What is Jambreezy cooking for us then?
This is what's going to get difficult sometimes. Is I looked at that hand and was like, Warlock. Oh, wait, no, Rogue. Because you just glance and go, huh?
Yeah, I was talking about this. So I've been playing a bit of Dual Class Arena over the last couple of days. Obviously, with all the new hero skins, sometimes you queue into a skin that you haven't seen before and you don't immediately recognize what you're playing against. But it doesn't matter, right? Because there's always a hero power. So you can always identify things by the hero power. That's fine. Then you play Dual Class Arena and you actually just don't have a clue what anything is anymore.
Right.
It's very alarming. Marin is super handsome, but not as much as the casters. See, this is the kind of fair and honest feedback that we've been looking for in this stream for a while.
Oh, hang on, I'm getting tangled up in my hat now. I'm just trying to adjust it.
How are you getting tangled in a hat?
Because there's a string.
Are you losing a fight with a hat, Raven?
Yeah, I actually am. It's okay now. I've recovered.
Okay.
Ready to check in?
Okay, Tempo Concierge. We have seen a little bit of this is a combo activator, right? We've seen several decks where Concierge is just being used as a combo tool, but Jambray just tempoing here, which is pretty good. Divine Brew, drink giving Divine Shield to a minion, can be used on either hero as well. It is simply give a character, so you can give your hero Divine Shield or your opponent Divine Shield if you really wanted to for some reason.
Yeah, there's a lot of spells happening right now. Get the sunscreen out as well. Just a casual 7-8 with Divine. Oh, no, wait. 8-10. Divine Shield, turn 3. Seems reasonable.
Yeah, it seems pretty powerful.
Oh, wait. 9-12.
Can I raise you a 9-12?
Yeah, and there's even another sunscreen in the hand as well.
Is it time to announce our darkness?
Maybe. But we'll see why not, especially with the weapon, right?
I mean, I see 2 mana remaining. And a card that costs 2.
I see a hero power.
Just dagger up and overwrite this weapon.
It will come to me.
Brendan raises a good point. Give your Painlock opponent Divine Shield. It's actually genius.
Oh, it's like all the discussions we've had throughout the years about certain matchups. It's like, oh yeah, just don't attack them. You don't attack them till turn 10. Stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh yeah, just give them Divine Shield, no problem.
Yeah. Oh, it's a proper firebat line, that, isn't it? Like, you just fatigue them. You just literally just don't attack face until like turn 25.
Yeah, and
die.
it's like Face Hunter Mirror. And it's like, you fatigue them. That's how you're supposed to do it. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And you know it's come from just fatiguing someone once. That's it.
All right, ton of value now coming off the location. Jambray, his deck is doing things, which is unsurprising for a Jambray deck. Like it's Jambray decks kind of skirt the line between magical nonsense and making perfect sense. But he made one big minion early and then was kind of out of stuff. But then, hey, mage location, just refill my hand with stuff again, so I have random cards to play over the course of the game.
And then we had the amazing Jambray Paladin early on, where I spectated it for the total of 5 seconds while he OTK'd someone with Paladin, and was like, oh, yeah, seems good.
Yeah, that does look scary. Like, I think when I get a chance to maybe queue some games in a little bit, I might be looking into some Lanessa OTK Paladin, because that very much looks like a Sottle deck.
Well, I was saying earlier where it feels like the most the highest impact tourist card that we've seen so far, of like the immediate, oh no, there's a problem now. as opposed to
Right.
the others have seemed good and obviously let you play the other class cards, so their general effect is powerful, but as a minion on board, it seems really strong.
+1
Symphony.
positivity point to not_build, who says this commentary is genuinely so awesome. Make sure everyone notes that down.
Yeah, you need 1,000 points for the bundle.
That's not true. We are lying. Generally terrified of advertising standards in this country now, Raven. I don't know if you've noticed.
Hashtag
They do
ad.
scare
There you
me.
go, covered.
Yeah.
Can't touch us now.
Yala roping Theorycraft, yeah. Welcome to Yala. It does not matter. It can be the final of the World Championship or the first game of the season at Bronze 10. Yala is hitting that rope.
Yeah.
It does not matter.
Yeah, I think even if Yala miscued and queued a like casual game, it would still happen.
Yep. Oh, and it turns out someone must have been incredibly smart and handsome and complimentary in chat because a bundle has been given out and it is going to Strangy?
Strangy.
STRANG with 3 eyes at the end. I imagine Ridiculous Hat will pop up in chat. Message Ridiculous Hat to get your mega bundle code. Congratulations.
If that is your name, don't just message him in general.
Yeah.
That will very quickly not
One
work.
person specifically can message.
I do love it though, because what you guys don't see is we get a message of just the person's name. And because everyone has, obviously like, strange usernames or whatever, it's just Ridiculous Hat saying like weird words as far as I can see, just randomly popping up. It's great.
Strangy does just kind of sound like a custom channel emote of like someone choking someone else, doesn't it? Like...
But in a cute way.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, this is not looking so good so far for the roguelock.
No, life still lived though, and there's still drinks in hand.
and now
so
card
the
draw.
healing is okay. The problem is this Luek that is hanging out on the other side of the board.
Ooh. Got hit with the old counterspell, the classic. Oh.
Okay, I mean that is now a lot of healing officially.
There is the wisdom ball, so.
But I refer you back to the Luek problem.
This is 10
Don't
showing.
think Yala is long for this world.
No.
Oh, it's literally always me show. Have you played any Spell Mage, Raven? Have you had the joy?
I've played a little bit.
Most 66% for the game.
Most recently, though, not as much because I played some Arena, so it's not quite as, it doesn't happen as often, right? Because your deck's not built to do it. Yeah, good win there for Jamboree. Yala's struggling a little bit on the road. We didn't really see much happen, honestly, from the rogue there, did we?
No.
We'll go and check in. Oh, let me just bring us back on. We'll go and check in with someone else. Who else shall we take a look at? Do you have any recommendations, Saul? Trying to think who we've not seen.
Just having a whip through. Let's see who I can spot. We've seen some Kibler. Wait, Meaty's here? I thought Meaty was mega retired. Let's have a little.
Maybe it was
Meaty.
one last foray.
One last hurrah for our hero.
There he is. Yeah, let's check out what the meat man's doing. Also, did you know the inside of this hat matches the shirt?
I did not know that. Does it really?
Oh yeah. Right, let's get in the game. It's Meaty versus I thought it started Cheeky. I Checky, sorry.
Well, good game. So who
It's
are we
just
watching
GG.
next?
Oh, and Meaty's on Druids. Yeah, who cares? we're straight out of this. Let's get back on camera.
All right, Meaty, you had your chance. Back
Oh,
to
yeah.
retirement with
And
you.
this is why you've retired. It instantly lost. Okay, let's have a look. Let me see.
For entertainment purposes, I would like casters to be people who have never played a single game of Hearthstone. Has been known to happen, honestly. So
Let's check out WTY Bill. Let's see what they're up to nowadays.
Ooh, bit of witty bill, sure.
Yep. And okay, the game
on
doesn't
board.
look over, so that's also a bonus. Give me 1 sec, guys. We'll get
Does mean I have to scroll all the way down to the bottom, though. This isn't
Yeah.
very efficient, is it? As a person's surname Welch, I know the pains.
Yeah. Oh. You know, the AB initials. So I'll imagine my placement on things growing up.
Yeah, I mean, like registration at school, you only have to listen for about 5 seconds, and then you
Yeah.
can just go back to
Yeah.
sleep.
Right. Done. Just
I
instantly.
got to pay attention right until the end.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I think at worst I was third once, and that was the worst case scenario.
That was the worst day of my
Oh
life.
yeah, I was embarrassed. I'll be honest. Here then we've got a WTY Bill on the old shaman with I can't even talk. Lataberna on the warlock. Is anything
So this
jumped
is
out for you
looking
for
like-
warlock this expansion?
Sorry, what did you say?
Is there anything like jumped out to you for warlock? So I'll be honest, it's one of the classes I've kind of looked at a little bit less.
Yeah, it's a class that like most of the support seems to be for Painlock or Aggro Warlock in general. The stuff outside of that, like there doesn't really seem to be too many like exciting control Warlock cards that would make
Right.
like Wheel of Death viable, for example. Not that I'm seeing anyway. Which, you know, might not be the worst thing in the world. I'm not necessarily sure Wheel of Death is a card that you want to be meta
popular,
dominant,
right? Yeah,
in my personal opinion. But yeah, I think obviously some new pain tools certainly exist. And it's very, very hard. Harder than usual as someone that loves to make definitive statements about new expansions to do that because of A, the complexity of the cards, and then B, the levels of entropy that you can just get with Tourist, right? So you're suddenly looking
Right.
at different combinations.
Well,
all
that's the
across
tricky
board.
thing. It's like, oh, so how are the warlock cards? Oh, well, they might not be the best in warlock, but they're good in another class.
Yeah,
it's
right,
kind of weird to say, right? Also, that was a lot of damage.
Highlight my message. The casters are so smart, and I love donuts.
Reasonable.
10 out of 10.
Hmm.
I was hoping for more Warlock Big Demon support. Yeah, Big Demons are certainly a thing that a lot of people have a lot of fun with. But there's a lot of expansions with a lot of themes that need to be hit. So give them time. Simon IDD, unironically, I am wearing flip-flops right now.
Are you wearing the flip-flops?
Yeah.
I can show them on stream after this if you want. We don't need Sol's feet on stream. I'm sure that'll get us into trouble.
Yeah. No, please, no show
Let me-
feet.
let me
No.
grab 'em. Bring my bag. And funnily enough, the flip-flops also kind of match the shirt and the hat.
Yeah.
Someone's thought about this.
I just keep them under my desk because I don't like wearing shoes inside, but hardwood floors get a bit cold sometimes, you know? So,
Get a bit chilly.
yeah. That's a good vibe.
Okay, well, not bad. That just seemed like a lot of pressure with the WINDFURY push, right? I didn't seem half bad.
Did. Should we stick around for another W2Y Bill game, though?
Yeah, let's watch it. Oh, wait, I'll show the flip-flops.
See one from
though.
the start.
While they're going
Okay,
in.
sure.
Look. Hearthstone flip-flops. True. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Real thing.
Right, back into the game. Good WTY Bill on against Kubu. Let's have a little look-see. Oh, I'm going to have to leave, Anna. Oh, wait. They're not on the list, are they?
Kubu?
Yeah.
Kubu was a new addition to this.
They might not be on this
THEORYCRAFT,
list. Okay,
so
we'll watch it
maybe,
one-sided.
maybe they just didn't make the friends list. Sure. Glad to see Kubu here, though. Avid viewer and contributor to various casters' outstanding streams where they play perfect Hearthstone all of the time.
Oh no, I'm trapped in my hat again. I can't hear you talking.
We do have our first outcasted paraglide of the stream. Certainly a thing that people have been concerned about, let's say. I don't think. I think you either have extremely glowing memories of the card Glide or extremely fearful memories of the card Glide, and very little in between.
Or like us, you said the word glide too many times for a lifetime.
Stop and smell the flowers.
How much for the Hearthstone flip flops? No idea. We got sent them for free because we're awesome. Hashtag ad.
To the end of it. It's the future, that, isn't it? Any statement that is linked is hashtag ad. It's got a Black Mirror episode written all over it, hasn't it?
It does, yeah.
What's the legendary? What,
spell?
Jive Insect?
Jive Insect. This is an old card.
Yeah, it's a classic. Transforming into Ragnaros the Firelord, and then Overload for 2.
How much am I selling you them for? We'll talk about it later when the people who sent them to me for free aren't watching. How about that?
No, I think what you should do, Saul, is if they can win the giveaway bundle, they can have them. I think that's how you should make that deal.
Oh, high stakes. I like it.
But they want yours specifically.
Yeah, sure. Re-entering weird territory now, aren't we?
Yeah. Do have Jive Insect available here? And this is where it gets tricky. Like, what happened? Oh, food fight.
Food fight, yeah. This monstrosity has been impressive so far, right? Like, again, we've seen a lot of very, very hyper efficient decks that put a lot of damage down early, have a lot of burst early. So this kind of defense, just a couple of 6/9s in play on turn 4, is looking like the kind of thing that you do need to compete with that.
And it's not even as sort of, oh, well, if you get it from Food Fight, it's good. It's like, well, there's Trail Mix you can run as well, right? For like the ramp. So there's multiple ways like Warrior can get this done and get this out a little bit earlier. And it's also guaranteed value because it's good enough if it sticks once, right? Obviously, the turn you play it, it's good enough as far as I'm concerned. And then if it does get to stick again, or if you resummon it with the the Druid spell that I've just forgot, even though I've been talking about it all day.
Hydration Station?
Yes, Hydration Station, thank you. If you resummon it, then like things start to get really silly. You start to really put out a lot of power. And look at this. Oh, the beast whale.
Nice.
I think Food Fight might be the signature art I want the most. It's so good. And
I just can't believe there's literally a card called Cheese Elemental in the game now. Like,
my time has
Cheese
come,
Elemental.
Saul. My time has
Cheese
come.
Elemental is what Raven calls any elemental when he doesn't know the name of the card. Just goes, Cheese Elemental. And now it just exists. And that makes me so irrationally angry.
Manifestation, my friend. This is just a lot, again, considering this much power on board, considering it's turn 6.
Yeah. But it is interesting. So W2I Bill's deck, obviously, both games that we've seen has been very all-in aggro, right? Big board last time by like turn 6 and pushing a whole bunch of damage, and then this game as well, early minions, Flame Tongue, push. But it does have that fallback on just Windfury Shaman, right? Bunch of hero attack buffs and then the Sandar Elemental to give Windfury. And if you can just clear out these taunts and get that damage to go face, you might be able to transition into a late game OTK deck. The problem with that against Warrior, which does seem like it's going to be one of the principal control decks in the game for the new expansion, is that everything they play has taunt.
Yeah.
So it's going to be so hard to actually get that damage to go face.
Look at that whale, right? If that comes down, like you basically are going to need things along the lines of Hex, right? To just nope it as opposed to trying to hit through it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you just end up playing like a Lightning Reflexes or something.
Just something to... Yeah. I do think that's a theme we've seen so far. And again, we are on theory crafting. One day players are just building what they want to build and testing stuff out. But I feel like the decks, you can almost just easily split them into board minion decks and then spell OTK decks. Right? It doesn't feel like there's been a lot of merging or too many different outs. It feels like we've really seen one or the other when players have built them so far.
Oh, 7 mana on Kiliax. Does have the board state to chew through, though, thankfully, and the healing not really a big factor just yet. I guess the good news is that the warrior hasn't ramped.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're like hammering away with just way more mana than you can play back at them.
The fear is
Which
now,
I do
though,
like. I do like a different class having access to ramp, by the way, because I think that is an issue that you run into sometimes where every expensive neutral win condition legendary is kind of exclusively a druid card,
Yes,
right? Because they're the
yeah,
only ones that get to play it early. So I like a couple of classes having access to it. Makes it a little bit more interesting.
I think the problem here is for Bill is especially with the Zilliax, as soon as these hydration stations get played, what's the plan? Like, if one hydration station gets played, what is the deal?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the plan is they don't have it, honestly.
The classic Hearthstone plan.
It's a good plan.
Just hope they don't have it and go, yeah.
Reporting for duty.
Oh, well, new plan.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, look at it.
It's so brutal as
Yeah.
well because it's the most expensive one specifically. It's just like both versions of Unkiliax are just kind of guaranteed in the pool, you know? Like it's disgusting. Yep. W2I Bill goes, all right, I had enough of that.
Yeah,
Pass
fair
it
enough.
back."
Yeah. GG.
If you're not familiar with the unwritten rules and sometimes written rules of theory crafting, you are asked not to concede in basically any position, just because a lot of these players are like making content and trying to get clips for YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or whatever else. So you know, if they want to do content to you instead of you conceding, you're kind of encouraged to do that. So W2Y Bill, just being a good sport there in the end, passing back, letting the lethal happen.
Yeah, let's check out Regis. I've just jumped into... Let's not, actually. Let's skip. It's Druid.